Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb page.
He means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
This is The Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road-ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN. Next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith. Aaron, what's going on this month?
We have new Polaris units on our lot, such as the Ranger XD 1500, the Sportsman 6x6, and the Razor Pro S. We have discounts here for the 2024 Polarises that have up to $6,000 off the original price. If you guys have any questions, call me or text me at 479-783-5822.
Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Metal Mart offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shop, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by 7320 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith or call 648-3342. You can also catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
Remember the classic Massey Ferguson tractors, straightforward, dependable, tough as nails, and easy to run? It's those classic models that inspired the Massey Ferguson 2600H series, as durable and reliable as the classics, with up to 74 horsepower and more comfort so you can work harder. The Massey Ferguson 2600H series. It's everything you want and need in a tractor. See one at Bush Machine and Tractor Company or visit bushtractor.com to learn more.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials. tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote. Get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbor since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Showers and thunderstorms could be strong to severe as we head through the afternoon. There is the potential for some large hail, damaging winds, and even a few isolated tornadoes. In addition to the severe weather, we could see very heavy rain this afternoon through tonight. High temperatures today, mid-70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Don't touch my beef jerky now.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, take it to the house.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
Number one Razorback is vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Hello and good morning, and welcome into a Monday edition of Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. It is looks like going to be another ugly one up here in Northwest Arkansas. A lot of our listening audience coming through after heavy rains overnight, maybe dealing with the very same thing this afternoon and over the evening, so please be safe out there. Phil Elson here, my partner Matt Jones, Christian Johnston, and Colton Little producing the show today. Matt, good morning to you. Man, I guess I thought that this year would be the year that you wouldn't see any more of the home blowouts, but it's been back-to-back home games, has not been very good. Ole Miss looked really good. I think they looked like the team that had something to play for at Razorback Stadium on Saturday, and just a very disappointing performance overall, really on both sides of the ball for the Hogs. But it's good to see you today. How are you?
Happy November. Yeah, it's always fun getting to do this radio show. I look forward to it. Absolutely. And, man, what do you say? I'll be honest with you, Phil. We talked a little bit about it, not as much on air, but a little more off air, kind of told you what might happen. And I did say if you don't get to the quarterback and don't cause any turnovers, we're going to get beat by 20. And that's kind of what happened. Ole Miss was the better team. We got outclassed the entire day. You get a stop on fourth down. Another thing we talked about, fourth down, how are you going to play on fourth down? Can you get stops? We stop them on fourth down, and then we give them 7 points. It was didn't really have much of a chance from the word go.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I thought stopping them on fourth down at the goal line would provide a little bit of a boost, but the boost only goes so far when you're dealing with a defensive line that they just could not block when it came right down to it. When you needed to get some yards, when it was still a game before things got out of hand, they just weren't able to really do anything. And I thought Kiffin going for it on fourth and goal. I'm not going to say it was brilliant because that's the kind of play that he usually would call for at that moment. It's just, I wonder in his mind, knowing full well that the Ole Miss defensive front is a dominant defensive front. I mean, we knew that coming in, and then they showed it against an Arkansas line that has struggled against good pass rushes this year. It almost felt like the decision to go for it on 4th and 1 was, you know what, maybe we don't score here, but if we don't, our defense will. It's just, pushing Talon back into the end zone. comes off the left edge, and the next thing you know, it's 7-0. You know, you're able to get it to 7-3, but man, that second quarter, it was about 4.5 minutes, 2 long touchdowns to Jordan Watkins, couple of 3-and-outs, and from that point on, it was pretty much game, set, match. Now, I think it says a lot. Maybe about Ole Miss, maybe more than anything. Maybe it says something about Arkansas, too. Ole Miss down their top receiver, maybe the best receiver in the nation, the receiver that averaged more than 80 yards per game, more than anybody else on that Ole Miss team. They were down their starting left tackle, so they were down to the backup at left tackle. Their top target at tight end really wasn't able to get on the field very much, Caden Prieskorn. And that Daquan Wright looked like a guy that could play for just about anybody in the SEC right now. And then Jordan Watkins goes out and has nearly a season's worth of touchdowns in one game. And they break records, offensive records, without the number one receiver, without their number one tight end, without the starting left tackle. Matt, help it make sense to me.
Well, it was the worst defensive game, our secondary, our back four. It was the worst game of the year for our secondary. Jackson Dart, they put on an absolute show. The receivers, big plays. There's nothing really to say about it. You kind of just got to take that one on the chin, and you get a bye week, so hopefully you can rest up. And then you get Texas. You know what? Texas is just as good as Ole Miss. We've been talking about this back half of the schedule and how tough it is, but it just kind of shows you where we're at. You know, we're a middle, you know, come see, come saw type of team, man. You got to get a lot of things to go right for us. We got a couple players that can make plays. I do this more in basketball than I do in football. Because it's just a different type of game. But in basketball, when I'm watching the two, I'm like, well, how many guys on their team could start for our team? How many guys for this Razorback team would start for that Ole Miss team? 4? You know, we don't have a lot of guys. They got us out-talented everywhere, and it showed. I mean, that's what happens.
You know, I think you end up with, I thought it'd be a defense that could keep you in every single game. What it turns into is it is a defense that struggles against experienced quarterbacks and offensive lines that can protect those quarterbacks. Just look at how clean Garrett Nussmeier's jersey was back in October. Mm-hmm. I mean, Dart's jersey was just as clean. And those are, I mean, they're accurate quarterbacks. They are, but the accuracy and the idea that their receiving corps could so easily get behind the Arkansas secondary, Matt, that to me just felt more of a surprise, and I understand that they may be a little bit limited at the position of cornerback, but they're even when they were dropping back to help, even when you put up a couple high safeties or tried to help with a double team here and there, they still got behind the defense. It's just whatever Ole Miss wanted to do offensively, Matt, they just basically did it.
Well, yeah, we couldn't put any pressure on them, and then it's like our secondary forgot how to cover and tackle. It's I don't know if there's some new schemes going in or they were thinking a lot, but they weren't just reacting and playing and being athletes because, I mean, you that's what you are. When you're a D-back, you're one of the best athletes on the field. And for some reason, we were lost. We weren't making tackles. We're giving up chunk plays. It was
confused at times too.
That's what I mean. There was everything about it. Nothing. It was one of those where you just gotta. Do you say you watch the tape and learn from it and then burn it, or do you not even watch the tape? You know, but you gotta try to correct some of your mistakes because there's still, man. There's 3 games left. There's no reason we can't go 2-1 in those 3 games. We have 7 wins and get to a nice bowl game.
Yeah, I mean, you get the bye week in order to plan for it. It's just, I tried to think about, you know, getting that 5th win against Mississippi State and taking some of the pressure off the idea that, you know what, we're going to end up going to a bowl game. Let's go out, play free and easy, and see what happens. And Ole Miss, I thought, might come in a little bit tight, or maybe overlooking Arkansas a little bit because they get Georgia the next week, but tight also because they don't have any wiggle room. You know, they are not going to playoff 12 if they do not win every game that is right there in front of them right now. But they played like a team that was focused, that was calm, that just felt like they had more to play for than Arkansas did. And I hate trying to get into the minds of the players. You know, is it a matter of reading your your press clippings or getting on social media and, and reading the attaboys and not reading some of the other stuff, or, kind of getting outside of yourself as a player and just, looking at it from the perspective of the fans. But I don't know. It just I didn't feel to me, Matt, like they came out focused. I know Sam said he thought he had them ready to go, but it turned out he did not. They did not look like they came out ready. Missed assignments, not Landon Jackson a couple of times just looked confused as to whether somebody blew a whistle or the alignment looked completely off. I'd have to look at it more from the Ole Miss perspective, Matt. I think they came out and they really looked like they understand that as far as they're concerned, every game they're playing for the rest of the season is a playoff game.
That's right. If they win out, they're in. Georgia already has a loss. Ole Miss has 2 losses. If Ole Miss beats Georgia, that's the first tiebreaker. They're going to head-to-head. So Ole Miss knows what's at stake, and they showed up ready. Man, they had their foot on the gas pedal, and they weren't going to take it off. And you're right. The game got away from – this is the first game this year that the game if you want to say the LSU in the fourth quarter, I'll give you that one. But I mean early on. First half, before – the game got away from us, and we all kind of knew it. You all kind of saw what was coming. And, I got to give a shout-out to Andrew Armstrong. I think he's an all-conference first or second team. If he's not all-conference first or second team receiver, then they're not doing it right, because I have not seen anybody be able to stop him. He has been an absolute joy to watch. Anthony caught one early, and you thought, ooh, let's get him the ball. He looks fast. Never went back to him, So, but then again, when you get sacked 8 times and you can't run the ball, what really are we? It's just kind of one of those days, or what? Nothing was going right.
That's kind of what I was thinking of, because I go back and watch as much of the replay as I can stomach before things are out of hand, and I'm just not interested any longer. And from upstairs in the booth, you can't see the players' faces. I can only see the helmets, the numbers, and everything from however high up it is in the radio booths at Razorback Stadium. When you get to watch it on television, and I'm sure you could see it on the sidelines. I'm sure there were fans that were within the first 10 rows. Then when they got to the sideline, they could see it on Taylor Green's face. There was a look of stoicism from the Arkansas quarterback, almost a look of resignation to the idea that once this ball is snapped, I'm either going to be running for my life or I'm basically going to be running for my life. He just did not look like he was confident in the guys that were up front in it for him. And I don't blame him. I really don't blame him for that matter, because there were just a lot of free runs. Ole Miss took over the nation's lead in sacks with that game. You've now had so much struggle to protect the quarterback in games where you knew that was exactly what you were going to be dealing with. LSU, they basically got to Taylor whenever they wanted, and it felt like Ole Miss did as well. These are the 2 top pass rush teams in the country, or at least in the SEC, Matt, and the Hogs just didn't have any answer for them. And that to me, that's not on Green. I think that's part of it. Is just when I remember watching the LSU game and thinking they're not doing anything crazy or exotic here. They're just being the better athlete on the line of scrimmage. I saw the same thing this past Saturday. Ole Miss just had the better athletes. Think of how many of that front 7 is going to be playing in the NFL sometime in the next 2 years. There's a chunk of them. Now, Walter Nolan, there's no answer for Nolan. Pooh Paul played a great game. Uman Milan played really well. Suntaran Perkins. I almost felt to myself, Matt, it's almost like they're partially going up against an NFL defensive line.
It is, and you go back and there's a couple times when you think about when we were playing LSU's 20 years ago, they had 3 guys that were going into the next level, and same thing with Auburn. We played a couple Auburn teams that had 4 or 5 guys that on the defensive side of the ball that got drafted and played on Sundays. But that's part of it. That's why you come to Arkansas. You come to Arkansas to play in the SEC, and we understand that we're not always going to have the best players, so to speak, on paper, but we know we're going to fight, and we're going to have that Razorback heart and go out there and play hard. And at least you can say the team did that. I do not think the team quit on anybody. I thought they at least played with effort. They played hard. It was just a deal where we weren't good enough. And to use a line from C Unit's boy, Hugh Freeze. If we played this game 10 more times, Ole Miss would beat us 9 out of 10 times.
Probably a good way to end the segment. I think you're spot on with that assessment, Matt. Here's what we got for halftime on this Monday. Be talking with Mike Irwin about 15 minutes from right now. We'll open things up for you in just a moment. 3 Up, 3 Down with Dr. Charlie Liggett in about an hour, and Connor O'Gara 1:15 for a look around. The craziness, which is college football, one day before we see our first rankings that matter. Opening it up for you right now, 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime. And we're back right after the break.
This is halftime.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure and get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center. 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
The American Patriot Promotions Gun Show is coming to Clarksville Saturday, November 16th and Sunday, November 17th. On Saturday, the doors open from 9 to 5 and Sunday from 9 till 3. The American Patriot Promotions Clarksville Gun Show is at the Johnson County Fairgrounds. Tickets are just $10 per person and only $8 for military and police. Plus, veterans get in for only $5. Children 16 and under are free. Go to AmericanPatriotPromotions.com.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howell in Van Buren.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
When I need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I always choose the Inn at the Mill. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Finally, football season. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is your #1 place to watch Arkansas and Monday Night Football. During Monday Night Football, $5 refillable beer cups for only $2 refills. Prizes for each score and at the end of every single quarter. Can you believe that they've had the same great pizza since 1996? That's nearly 30 years. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. You'll get the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Let's go to
is what a girl wants. I don't have the need, I don't have the need, I don't have the need, I don't have the need. Stay up all night talking love here in the morning. Jack will have you chillin', everything will be just fine. I'm in contact overseas, please come back. You get the contact when you're late, take your time.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, back on halftime here. Only 2 SEC home teams lost on Saturday. One of them was your boy Hugh Freeze, or I guess that's CJ. That's C Unit's boy, Hugh Freeze. Another loss to Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt.
They got bowl eligible, huh?
Final score.
Yeah.
They got what?
They're bowl eligible now with that victory. They're one ahead of us. Yeah.
That's exactly right. The wins may be a little more difficult to come by, though, right now for Vandy, though I shouldn't put anything past them. South Carolina showed a lot, didn't they? That's the next team for Vandy, although they get them in Nashville. How about South Carolina? 44 points against that defense, and Rocket just ran roughshod over them. That was the Rocket from 2 years ago.
He showed why he's an All-American. That's for sure, his talent, and it's just a reminder, man. It's South Carolina's been on the come lately. If you look at their last 4 games, they've kind of been some heartbreakers. They talk about a team that hasn't stopped fighting. They're still fighting for their coaches, and then that's the thing. We were down to our third string running back. Our top 2 running backs weren't playing, so you're kind of losing a little bit off when you start thinking about our game. But man, it just shows you that if you don't show up to play in the SEC and on any given Sunday, if you're not Mississippi State, I think everybody can beat everybody.
This year maybe more so than any other year, because I've never seen a year like this in college football. Vandy is bowl eligible still with 3 games to go.
I never thought a Hugh Freeze team would be so impotent on offense. I don't understand how it is really bad. Like, it's hard to watch them play offense.
Well, and I didn't think anybody would be putting up 44 against the Aggie defense either. They hadn't allowed more than 24 in a game this year. And then South Carolina goes out there, and I mean that's you ask the question sometimes about the kind of performance that'll keep a coach around for a while, and you're not supposed to lose the games that you're supposed to win. You're thinking of Arkansas against Mississippi State. Wins like that, at home, on national television, with a dominant performance against a team that I didn't think they were going to lose, at least until that last game against Texas, potentially. Says a lot about the job Shane Beamer's doing over there at South Carolina. Now, you'd mentioned about Arkansas being down to their third string running back, and that to me felt like a little bit of a surprise on Saturday as how quickly Russell was in and then out. We didn't see Braley in the rest of the game. I guess that hamstring must still be bothering him a little bit, though they didn't give any real clue into what the situation is with Russell. But hey, I really like the running back room to start the season. I thought Dubinion did fairly well running the ball. It's just, to me, it's like you can point to the LSU game and say, you know what, the defense kind of did what they needed to do to at least give the offense a chance. I still don't know if nobody really had a chance. There just wasn't a chance. That's the point of what you were making earlier. At least in LSU game, you had the ball early in the third quarter with a chance to take the lead. So you'd played the kind of first half that kept you around against a team that is more talented. And in this one, Matt, I mean, it was basically over early in the second quarter. 3 touchdowns in 4 minutes and 21 seconds. I think Arkansas might have had 1 first down at that point. And the fact that it was back-to-back bombs to Watkins, like 2 minutes apart. I mean, they scored those 2 touchdowns to Watkins on drives of total of 3 plays. And we got a text in earlier here. Stanley in Springfield says he'd never seen anybody score that many touchdowns in a game since middle school. 5 touchdowns in a game is kind of middle school stuff. And, that's one off the season high for anybody in college football. Xavier Restrepo of Miami scored 6 touchdowns against Louisville, and then there's Jordan Watkins with 5 against Arkansas.
Lane Kiffin showed why he's a top 5 coach in the SEC. I mean, he diced us up. And it's kind of, Phil, when we were talking last year and we'd be watching a Coach Musselman basketball team, and I don't know if it's the A&M game or who it was last year, but they had a guy that was hot, and you knew who was going to shoot it. And then we play in like 3 straight times down the court. We don't even get up in his face, and we let him get open. Maybe it was the LSU game. We let him get open, and then it's like, very next time down the court, are we still not going to guard him? Same thing here. It was like, well, hey, we might want to put somebody on him, maybe even 2 somebodies on him.
And I think everybody got burned in the secondary.
It's D-back's worst game I've seen him play all year.
Yeah. I mean, you already know the number by now if you watched it. 562 yards passing. And I kind of wonder, just based on something I heard Hudson Clark say on the Coach's Show Wednesday last week, that he seemed to be more focused on Ole Miss's ability to run the ball. Remember, I think they'd averaged over 300 yards rushing in the last 4 years against the Razorbacks, and they did a fairly good job slowing their run game down. But I don't know, just based on what he said, I wonder if they were a little more focused on stopping Ole Miss's run. And then when you see that Harris is out for the game and they don't have their starting left tackle or their number 1 tight end, maybe in the back of their mind too, they're thinking, well, it's not just gonna be handing it off and taking it from there, but that their pass game might have been a little bit shorter of what it had been all year. And it turned out they had a record-setting game. I mean, this was the kind of – Archie Manning never had a game like this before. Eli Manning never had a game like this before. That's part of it. It's not just losing another home game. It's not just getting blown out again in a home game. Ole Miss has been playing football, Matt, for how long? Oh, what do you say, 125 years, something like that? And this past Saturday, they have 2 records set in the passing game. That's just that's very difficult for people to not comprehend, accept. It's not acceptable. You can't have that kind of performance, whether it's home or road. And even if it was Harris setting those records, you'd still be like, come on, you got to be able to slow a team down.
Man, that's what's the old saying, Uncle Sam, and it's pointing saying, we need you. We need one of those for Uncle Sam Pittman talking about we need you sending out to these recruits because, we need some more talent up there on the hill. It was, I don't want to say embarrassing, but it was borderline embarrassing when they come up and just set franchise records right on your head. Man, you gotta look yourself in the mirror, get back to practice, get to work, or you got to change your major because y'all aren't going to be playing football much longer after this.
877-377-6963. If you want to get with us, we will break in a moment and talk with Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation. If you're craving anything sweet and delicious, you can always get over to Andy's Frozen Custard in Fort Smith on Rogers Avenue, in Conway on East Oak Street and Dave Ward Drive, and in North Little Rock on JFK Boulevard. For football Saturdays, take home a pick 6. That's 6 of your favorite flavors for the perfect game time treat at Andy's Frozen Custard. Walk up or drive through. They're always ready to serve you. Stay with us. We've got Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation right after this.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Get the best deals of the year on select New Holland tractors and hay equipment right now at WT Equipment during New Holland's year-end value bonanza. Get the biggest savings with cash back plus 0% interest, $0 down, and 0 due until 2025. Don't miss your chance to harvest our best deals on New Holland's best equipment during value bonanza now at WT Equipment. Offer ends December 31st or while supplies last. For commercial use only. Subject to credit approval and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten to your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
The people have voted, and Evans Body Shop has been recognized. Voted best in the River Valley this year and 5 years running best of the best independent body shop. We are so grateful for the support of our community. EBS has hundreds of 5-star reviews and countless satisfied customers. We invite you to experience a customer service level that sets our shop apart from the others. Call or come by today to see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. Join me, Phil, and Dr. Charles Liggett every Monday at 12:15 for my favorite segment, 3 Up, 3 Down.
My second up, the game plan that he put together, that was fun to watch.
3 Up, 3 Down is presented by River Valley Smile Center. I'm a patient there, and you can be too. Visit rivervalleysmiles.com or give them a call at 479-646-0706. That's River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road-ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Oh, can you play me the song? Oh, can you play me a song? Oh, can you play me a song? Oh, can you play me a song?
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I just realized this. Jackson Dart was 3 yards away from the most total offensive yards in a game against Arkansas for any opponent they've ever played. Remember the Liberty Bowl? Jalen Daniels, the Kansas quarterback, ran and passed for 565 yards. That's the record. Arkansas did win that game. That also was overtime. Corral passed and ran for 562 yards. That's 3 yards fewer. Didn't need overtime to do it, and he didn't even play the entire fourth quarter. We have Mike Irwin with us from Pig Trail Nation. Mike, good morning to you. When you hear those numbers, that there was a record-setting, I mean, you know the records were set by Ole Miss, but this is also a record set against Arkansas. This was potentially the best game that any quarterback has ever had against the Razorbacks.
Yeah, having watched the game, I think I understand what happened. And, you know, a lot of people are blaming the whole team. Pittman didn't have them ready or whatever. Guys, I want to point out that even with your backup quarterback and your numbers 3 and 4 running backs, they scored 4 touchdowns on Ole Miss. It wasn't the offense. It wasn't even the entire defense, because I felt like the linebackers and the D-line played reasonably well. It's that secondary. What happened? And I've been given a lot of explanations. You know, Pittman himself said there might be something in their scheme that other teams are picking up on, coaches, quarterbacks. Maybe. Some people have tried to tell me those players aren't really that good. They never were. Give me a break. I saw those guys competitive in preseason camp, doing, you know, battling Arkansas's own receivers who are good. I saw them do it in games this year. They didn't suddenly get bad. Then other people are saying, well, they didn't go up against a quarterback this good. Well, I had people at the game who could see those pass routes telling me anybody could have completed those passes. This one guy was just running right by him on every play. Something happened to that secondary. I don't know what it is. Someday somebody who knows will probably step up and make it public, but there's something more than all these theories that I've been given. You don't just turn into what they are right now with no explanation other than you were playing a better quarterback, or there was some weird thing going on where the team was picking up on your schemes. There's more to it than that.
Well, Mike, where do we go from here? And, you know, we got 3 games left. You get a bye week. And is there anything positive? Phil and I were talking. I think Andrew Armstrong's going to be a first or second team All-SEC receiver when it's all said and done. But what about the play of the backup quarterback? Because you know you're going to have it sometime. What were your thoughts on the way he handled himself?
Thought he was terrific. There are some people that believe that Taylor Green should just go ahead and sit out the rest of the year to let his knee heal up. We got to have more information than that. We got to know what kind of injury that is. We're not going to get that today because there's no Sam Pittman press conference because of the open date. So we're going to speculate for a while on the knee situation. But yeah, Malachi Singleton played a terrific game. I thought the offensive line, which was mismatched throughout most of the game, they still battled. Is there anything, what do you do the rest of the year? Well, people that say Pittman is gone, and there are plenty of people saying that now, and the most popular opinion right now is that he's going to retire, and that his knee thing or his hip replacement is going to force him to retire. I don't know anything about any of that, but I know they've got 3 games left, and if they beat Louisiana Tech, they've got 4. And if he were to retire, probably by the time they play their last game, they would have announced something. You might even have another coach in place. And if they are going to start talking to other coaches, that will filter out. But right now, all I know is they got 3 games left and maybe 4. And I think you've got to figure out what's going on with that secondary. Even Louisiana Tech's got a good passing quarterback. It's going to be hard to beat people if your cornerbacks and your safeties are just standing there letting people run right by them.
Well, Mike, I mean, look at the last 2 home games. They try to stay. Try to keep the LSU wide receivers in front of them. They did that, but they got 8 to 15 yarded to death in that game. This was the other way around. This was everything that was over 15 yards up to 65 yards, and you know, it almost feels like damned if you do, damned if you don't, especially with the kind of quarterback that they're facing next week and the kind of pass game that Texas features. You know, that to me, maybe it's a matter of you playing against experienced quarterbacks that just kind of played a lot of football. Look at how Alan Bowman played, especially in the second half against Arkansas. Even Zeno, the UAB quarterback, that's a guy that's played a lot of college football. And for the most part, played fairly well. I mean, they've kind of feasted defensively against the inexperienced quarterbacks, and you just don't see those quarterbacks on the rest of the schedule.
Yeah, and I agree with some of that. But again, what I'm seeing right now is a lack of effort that I didn't see before. Again, if you go back and really, you couldn't see it on television because they don't show the pass routes. They're focused on the quarterback when he takes the snap. But people were at the game watching those routes, said there was nothing elaborate about them, nothing that would confuse anybody. There was just a lack of effort. And that's what they've got to correct. And again, I got no idea why that's going on. I don't know if those guys sat there and saw, that interception or fumble or whatever it was into the end zone and said, uh-oh, here we go again. Offense is letting us down, putting us in a hole. Now we're supposed to come out and then they brought in, Green win another series and it didn't work. And now we got to stop them again. And maybe they just let go of the rope. I know the rest of the defense didn't let go, but for some reason the secondary did. But they've been making those mistakes ever since the Tennessee game, and it's just a mystery to me.
Mike, I had going into this week, I thought the National Football Playoff Committee, they come out tomorrow with their rankings. I had Texas A&M in the top 4. But not after that L that South Carolina handed. Who right now, Mike, do you think is the top 4 in college football when they come out with these rankings tomorrow?
If I said, it would probably change right after that. But, I think Georgia's got to be up there. There's some teams outside of the SEC that are probably up there. You guys, what really surprised me, and if you want to criticize Arkansas for sort of giving up, what do you think A&M did? I watched that. And that was a competitive game into the fourth quarter, but at some point midway through the fourth quarter, A&M just quit. And that was the only team in the SEC without a conference loss. They were sitting on top ahead of everybody. And then they suddenly just don't play. A team that had just destroyed LSU, their defense had destroyed LSU the week before. How do those things happen? How do teams go from one extreme to the other? Because I don't remember that happening several years ago, but it's just becoming more and more common now. And a lot of people think it's because of NIL, that you got your money, okay, this is not terrible, we're A&M, we're still in good shape, okay, so we lose. I don't know. It just looks strange to me, but I'd hate to pick a top 4 because I think it changes every week. Texas could be back into this thing, or they may be out. What about Ole Miss? They suddenly now we've got 2 losses, but we're going to get in there. Well, what if they're not? They could very easily get beat. They could lose 2 more games. Honestly, I wouldn't predict anything.
But Mike, that also goes to kind of a little bit of the heart of what you said just a moment ago before Matt's question about that game or the playoff 4. Is it just looked like Ole Miss felt they had more to play for? Independent of the talent and the NIL spent on each roster and what they had done the week before and everything, it just, to me, if I'm talking about a sense of urgency, I saw that from Ole Miss. I saw that from kickoff to the very end of the game. I think that's why they weren't taking their foot off the pedal. They don't want to change that mindset. I don't know if I saw that from Arkansas necessarily, and I wondered why.
Well, yeah. They're sitting there, one more loss in their playoff. All they've done for the last 8 months is talk about making the playoffs. And that was over if they lost that game. So, yeah, there was supreme motivation there. And with Arkansas, we've got our bowl game. That was one of our goals. So maybe it was just a matter of one's not as motivated as the other. I don't know. There's just strange things going on right now, and fans are reacting negatively to it. But one of the most interesting things that happened in that game happened before the game. I think a lot of Arkansas fans have totally misinterpreted what Sam Pittman said when he compared Arkansas's D-line. He said, we're a Kmart Blue Light Special, and they're a Louis Vuitton. But what he was talking about was recruiting. We don't have the NIL money. We got to recruit 3 stars and turn them into 4 stars. They're recruiting 4 stars from the beginning. But he said, that's going to change with revenue sharing. And I talked to somebody inside the athletic department yesterday, and I heard some really interesting things. by April, this revenue sharing proposal is supposed to be finalized and in place. What does it do? It takes NIL and puts it where it really was. Keep in mind what NIL was supposed to be is your ability to endorse a product and get money for it. It wasn't, we're going to pay you $2 million to come in here and help us win. Well, now with this revenue sharing, you're bringing players in, you're paying them out of the athletic department budget, and everybody's got a cap. Texas can't outspend Arkansas or whoever. You got a cap. You're going to only spend so much. Now, when it comes to NIL, it has to be a true NIL. Right now, there's 4 companies that are bidding to become this consulting firm that will determine fair market value of an NIL. What does that mean? That means that in the future, if Texas offers an Arch Manning $2 million to come there, this firm is going to come in and do research and determine what the value of him doing endorsements really is. And I'm told the numbers will drop dramatically because they're not paying Arch Manning $2 million, whoever it is, because they're going to help them make money. Like if I went out and endorsed some business, they wouldn't do it unless they thought it would increase their business. Well, he's not going to increase their business that much, so the amount drops. And when it drops, then Arkansas's NIL, which I'm told is a much better situation now than it was, they will be even competitive on these things like bidding for quarterbacks and bidding for wide receivers, really good 4- and 5-star players. They're not going to be getting $2 and $3 and $4 million. They may be getting $200,000, $300,000, $500,000. So all of that's very positive in my opinion.
But Mike, I mean, I hear all those things, and I've been looking into all of the ideas of what college sports can look like in the future, and hopefully this settlement actually does get accepted and will operate under the system that you're sort of describing there. But I also, I know that these athletic departments employ very smart people who specialize in finding loopholes in the system. And it's like, I mean, that's what they're paid to do. It's that you put out new groundwork out in front of you. There are going to be loopholes that nobody thought of. You go out and find them. And then the richer schools end up in the same position they're in right now. Maybe that's the skeptic in me. Maybe that's me just kind of looking at college sports from a perspective that, yeah, we can change it, but it may end up being the same. I don't want to feel that way, but that is how I feel.
I think what's much more likely, Phil, is that schools will go back to cheating. In other words, you can't give this guy actually $2 million. You got to give him $200,000. But then they figure out a way to pad it under the table. And when you start doing that, you go back to the old system, which may not have been perfect, but it's a lot better than what we have now, which is no rules. So then the NCAA turns back into a unit that investigates schools that cheat like that. I guess they could get around the rules, but I think if they do, you're going to have the people that are making this thing work. Finally, something makes sense to me about all of this stuff. And they've got some smart people behind the scenes to work this stuff out because this is a perfect solution as it's been described to me. Now, if somebody comes along and tries to beat the system, I think they're just going to come back again and say, no, that's not allowed. And you all have to agree to it or you can't be a part of what we're doing. It's not settled, but I'm much more optimistic about where we're headed than this no rules situation we've been in for about 3 years now, which really frustrates a lot of fans.
Yeah, it does. It does. Cheating would frustrate him too, but at least, and I can see where you're coming from, it's a system that, maybe makes sense instead of now, which doesn't make any sense. Mike, we'll leave it there. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
Go ahead. I'll let you finish your thought.
I said, imagine if there's no rule against me stealing money from you. But that's bad. But somebody comes in and says, well, yeah, but we can arrest you if you do that. Well, that's a lot better than saying, you can take whatever you want because there's no rule against it. So, again, I would rather go back to the system where you investigate the cheaters.
Mike, thanks again for your time. Appreciate it as always.
Okay.
Thanks,
See
Mike.
Mike Irwin, Pig Trail Nation, with us each Monday here on Halftime. If you would like to get in, we are open for you now, 877-377-6963. Quick break, and we'll wrap up hour number 1 in a moment.
I'll eat liver. Raw liver. If we win this game Saturday.
This is Halftime.
For too long, our rural communities have been left behind. It shouldn't matter where you live, everyone needs access to the justice system. I'm Justice Rhonda Wood, and I'm running for Chief Justice of the Arkansas Supreme Court. I understand the challenges that our rural communities face, and I've worked to create solutions for courts across the state. I will make improving our justice system in rural communities a priority as your next Chief Justice. I'm Rhonda Wood, and I'm asking for your vote on November 5th, because Arkansas is stronger when our communities are stronger.
Paid for by Wood for Justice.
At AOG, our main goal is to deliver reliable energy to your home safely. And keeping our team members, customers, and community safe starts with awareness. Natural gas has a distinctive, strong odor, often compared to rotten eggs or sulfur. If you smell gas, leave your home immediately. Go to a safe location and call 911 in addition to AOG. Remember, if you smell gas, act fast and always call 811 before you dig. To learn more about natural gas safety, visit AOGC.com. AOG, energy for life.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you in the market for a new office printer or multifunction device? Look no further. At Dixie Digital Imaging, we bring a legacy of experience and a rock-solid reputation. Our state-of-the-art solutions are tailored to meet your business needs seamlessly. Why settle for anything less? Call us now at 479-783-6600 to get a quote on your next office printer or multifunction device. Elevate your office efficiency with Dixie Digital Imaging, where experience and reputation meet excellence. That's Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Hanging with Danny Cobb at American Welding Laboratories. Danny, tell us about the school.
Well, Tommy, we're going on 3 years in operation. We teach all aspects of welding, from stick welding all the way to combination pipe.
So how's the job market these days?
Job market's wide open, whether you want to stay local or hit the road. As a licensed institution, we have access to many grants, including the GI Bill now.
Great. How do we get started?
Come by 4400 South 16th, take a tour, talk to our instructors.
It's American Welding Laboratories. Find out more at theweldinglab.com.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Healthy. See us. The difference between us.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
You heard on that last segment with Mike Irwin, there are the rumors out there about a potential retirement scenario for Sam Pittman. I've even seen on social media being referred to as a forced retirement, which could involve some sort of a buyout that is extended out however many years. It's all rumors right now, and I guess it's the kind of thing that you would see when, they kind of thought that Coach Pittman would be safe with the idea of the win over Mississippi State. You get to a bowl game, you maybe find a way to upset one of the other teams that you're facing, be in all those games. It's just part of the idea of the security of the position of being a head coach is not being embarrassed at home, right? And that's what you're seeing a little bit more right now. 2 years in a row, a lot of embarrassing home losses. So, and I don't know what to believe as far as the rumors are concerned, but they're out there. And if you want to believe where there's smoke, there's fire, have at it.
Yeah, it's you're right, Phil. We can talk about it. I don't really like to be so negative, but if you look at last year and you look at this year, as far as home performances by the offense, last year what did we do? We fired the OC, tried to figure something out. Now we brought in Bobby Petrino. We have our moments, where we look all right, and it's just Saturday it got away from us early, and there's really nothing you can say about it. Is they kind of hit us in the mouth early, and the game was over, and we didn't make an adjustment.
It reminded me of November last year, Matt.
Kind of the other way, yeah.
Yeah, I can't. You don't want to go through another. And it was really just 2 games, but it was 3 weeks, but it was 2 games that really just the bottom fell out, and it reminded me of November 2023, and I don't want to remember anything about football from November of 2023. This Saturday felt like it.
You get a bye week, and then you get Texas coming into town. I mean, maybe it's something with the orange tea that comes up. Tennessee has the orange tea coming to town, and we were able to get that one. Maybe there's something going in with that this year, and we're able to get that one. That would be, it'd be a big-time win. You get 3 more opportunities. I think the best case scenario is we could go 2-1 in that scenario. I think most likely we'll go 1-2, but we could figure out a way. We got to have our running backs ready to go. If you're going to beat Texas, we need Russell. You need Jaquindon Jackson. You can't give up 8 sacks. There's just some things you're going to have to get better at.
And we got to cover. Pretty please.
Got to tackle. Got to tackle on defense. I thought it was our worst tackling game of the season. Hey, you just go back, watch tape, do your drills, figure it out, and we'll see how they respond.
Callers are lined up. We'll get to them in just a moment. It's halftime. We'll be right back.
Deer hunting in the comfort of an enclosed 6x6 Lazy Man fiberglass box blind. It's affordable at Jelco Outdoors. Lazy Man Fat Girl Blinds, built here in Fort Smith with your choice of 6-foot or 10-foot tower blind platforms, starting at $22.99.99. Box blinds are great for taking the kids, with plenty of room and out of the weather. Check out the deer blinds at Jelco Outdoors. Hunt longer in the comfort of a Lazy Man box blind, sold locally at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Whether you're planting a tree in your backyard or trenching at a construction site, a call to 811 helps prevent dangerous damage to underground utilities and is the first step in keeping yourself and your community safe. Hitting a line can knock out service to your home and neighborhood, resulting in fines, damages, serious injury, or worse. Safety is in your hands. Call 811 before you dig. It's easy, it's free, and it's the law. This message is brought to you by Black Hills Energy.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Showers and thunderstorms could be strong to severe as we head through the afternoon. There is the potential for some large hail, damaging winds, and even a few isolated tornadoes. In addition to the severe weather, we could see very heavy rain this afternoon through tonight. High temperatures today, mid-70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be a smart aleck like that.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Even one Razorback is vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Turn it.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Into our second hour here on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston is producing about 15 minutes. It'll be 3 up, 3 down with Dr. Charlie Liggett from River Valley Smile Center. So if you get anything up or down, you can get it right in at 877-377-6963. Happy basketball season to you, Matt. College Hoops begins today. 13 SEC games on the men's side, 13 SEC games on the women's side. That also includes an opener with Ole Miss in Southern California right now in Paris, France, that tipped off an hour ago. And you got a 6:30 tip-off at Bud Walton Arena. Arkansas's women's team will take on Fairfield, which would help because I'm going to be calling the game, so it does help to at least know who the opponent is. So it is November. Football season is right in the middle, near the end of it potentially, and happy basketball season to you as well.
Happy basketball season, man. Statues are coming up, and I'll give you a little preview of 3 up, 3 down. One of my favorite number 15s just north of the border got his number retired, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. I'm always a fan of his.
Okay, well, we'll get to that in a moment, but we do have 4 callers lined up, so let's get right to them. First up today here is Brian in Ozark, who's going to be pretty fired up about Arkansas and Texas coming up in a week. Wonder what you think, though, Brian, about Texas versus Florida, or maybe you've called about a different game. What's up, Brian?
Yeah, well, I don't think Florida matches up with Texas, but we'll see. I mean, they played Georgia pretty tough, but we'll see what happens. I think Quinn Ewers is back to being 100% healthy now, is what I read. But this is the deal. I do have a comment and a question. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I said that I don't believe that Arkansas D-backs were going to match up against these top teams, and they proved that they can't. Their 4 losses. The quarterbacks in the 4 losses have really picked apart those defensive backs in all 4 games and 4 losses. I think Quinn Ewers will do the same thing. He's, to me, and of course I'm biased, he's a better quarterback than Jackson Dart anyways. But here's my question, and everybody's talking about this revenue sharing and all this other stuff and limiting what players can get. And I was talking to you a few weeks ago, and, Texas is, for instance, Texas has raised over $1 billion in athletic revenue. Okay. Why should they be punished? Because they can make the revenue and make millions of dollars more than all these other schools in NIL. Why should they be punished to where other schools can't do what they can do? To me, that's a disadvantage of Texas to go out and raise that kind of money.
I understand where you're coming from with this, but it's the same idea as why do you have a salary cap in the NFL? It's so that the teams that are all in the same league are playing from, the same level playing field. That's why they're doing it there. And this is, I don't know if you can call it like a salary cap, but it would be some kind of a cap on earnings, or at least making it clear that the job that you are being paid for in terms of selling your name, image, and likeness rights to a company, that you're actually doing something for it. So that's the thing. It's like, I can understand if you didn't have a salary cap in the NFL, the Cowboys could go out and just throw millions of dollars at everybody they wanted to and just have a more talented team. It's kind of what happens in baseball right now, too, with the Yankees and the Dodgers, and I think you can see a little bit of an effect on that. So, yeah, I think it's just a matter of if you belong to a league with other schools who you are like-minded as you, then you should probably be coming from you should probably be playing on more of a level playing field than saying, well, we're so much bigger than everybody else that we can just bring all the money in and spend it on however we want.
Okay, let me ask you this. If that's the case, back when Nolan was there, Walmart donated $30 million to the University of Arkansas. Why are your big donors like Walmart and Jay? They're not donating much to NIL anyways. That's not these other schools' fault. The Arkansas companies don't want to donate.
Walmart just put their logo on the football field, and Walmart just put their logo on the basketball court. It might be on the baseball field for all I know next season. So they are kind of stepping up and spending a little money on it. So is Tyson. Those logos just didn't get painted there because somebody thought it would look good. Those logos are there because they're spending hard dollars on it. So I do think some of that money is coming in. Got some other callers we got to get to, Brian. Thank you very much. Let's talk now with Juwan. Hey, Juwan, you're on halftime. How are you?
Doing well, man. How about yourself?
Great, thank you.
Man, it was a disappointing performance Saturday from the Razorbacks. And, man, you got to blame some of it on NIL, but the thing that I look at more is the allure of the school. Is Arkansas an attractive place to play? You got to say no compared to everybody else. You go to Alabama, you score a touchdown, they got the light show going, they got national championships, they have Heisman's, Biletnikovs, whatever you want. Same with LSU. We've got to make this place more attractive for the recruits. It doesn't matter how much money you offer somebody, they still have to want to come and play at your school. On the NIL edge, we're 50 years behind. Tennessee just got caught a couple years ago handing out bags with 20,000 in them. 20,000. They didn't get any bowl bans or anything. They're right back on top of the SEC. We've got to get
bags with no
time.
Food in them, right? There were no Big Macs in those bags.
No, there was bread in there. Oh yeah, there was some bread in there, baby. You better believe it.
Different kind, yeah.
But those are the things that we should have came up on a long time ago. And there's teams like SMU, Texas Tech, TCU, who have cut into a lot of our recruiting. Look at SMU; they're having one of their best seasons ever. I look at the roster at some of those players. Those are players that Arkansas usually would have recruited. And this is the last thing I'll say before I get off here. With the coaching hires, man, this is what hurts me. You have Rhett Lashley, Arkansas grad, from right here in Springdale, Arkansas, leading the Pony Express, and they're killing it. You have Dow Loggins, who was on our staff, tight end coach, former offensive coordinator in the NFL for several years, Look what he did with Rocket Sanders and Lenore Sellers. We need better decisions to be made, and we need changes in our program. It's not a coaching problem. We need better players, and maybe something can happen. Thank you, guys.
You got
Okay, thanks, Juwan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you got Barry Lenny Jr. at Illinois as well. That's another Arkansas connection that's having success out there.
It is funny, though, like with South Carolina, 2 weeks ago, Dowell Loggins wasn't the most popular coach in South Carolina Gamecocks history. Let's put it in those terms. They might feel a little bit different after putting up 44 against A&M. Let's go to Charlie. What's up, Charlie? How are you?
What's up? But you know what? The first call was extremely biased. The second call, I was able to wake up. Juwan always brings in the facts, man. He's always got it. He's our stat guy. He brings in the facts. I mean, I'll just be honest. He's right. I mean, let's be real about it. And Matt, you even said back when we hired Calipari, it's almost like we decided, you know what, we're going to put most of our eggs into being a basketball school. And look, I'm not knocking that decision. I'm just saying that people need to understand that this NIL thing and, you know, how much money you have to go get players with, it's a reality. And look, Matt, I'm with you as far as like, you know, you're from Arkansas, you got to play hard and blah, blah. At some point, when you go out there and play against someone in this league and they're more talented than you, I mean, look, I look at it this way, and I don't know how you guys look at it, but I'm thinking about, like, how many of our guys would actually play for them or start for them? Maybe Armstrong, maybe Landon Jackson. I don't know, maybe a few guys, but you look at the talent differential on the field Saturday. I mean, reality is they were just some more talent. It wasn't even close. And maybe I thought Phil like you, but when we're at home, it feels like, you know, like we've had these just debacles. But this is a new year. Like, we can't keep comparing to the past few years. And I just think Ole Miss would have kicked our butt wherever we played them this year. The Moon, the Stars, Fayetteville, their place, wherever. They just were superior to us, especially at the line of scrimmage. And it was just, I mean, it was clear as day. That's frustrating. But anyway, it is what it is. I mean, we gotta.
Here's the thing that I don't. Here's the thing I don't get from watching this Ole Miss game on Saturday, Charlie. How the hell did Kentucky beat Ole Miss in Oxford? How did the Wildcats actually win in Oxford over that team? Is that a matter of them taking their eye off the ball? Like, I can appreciate LSU beating Ole Miss. I think that's a good Tigers team. Kentucky, I don't think they had any business beating Ole Miss. Maybe it can just chalk it up to being that year in college football or something, but this is not the year that I would have thought Kentucky would be beating a contender for the national playoffs, so it didn't make sense to me.
No, that's what I'm talking about this game in some sense, but I think it's like, I would never thought South Carolina would have just smoked A&M like that. I mean, the way they ran the football on them, like, you got a pass rush right there. How many rushing yards do they have against them? That's how you slow a pass rush down. Anyways, y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Charlie. Look, you mean be going into the game, I can appreciate the idea that an Arkansas win would have been an upset. Absolutely would have been an upset. Is Ole Miss better than them? Yes, but I don't think it's 32 points. I don't think it's record-setting performance type thing at Razorback Stadium. I don't. It's a very difficult thing to accept that a team that had struggled to put up 24 points per game with their starting left tackle, with Trey Harris, with Caden Priestcorn, that team without those three players actually put up 63 when they'd averaged less than half that in their other 4 SEC games. We'll go to Eddie. Eduardo, how are you? You can help. Maybe you can help make some sense for me.
Well, sir, let me say this. You're going to see a different call from Eddie from Clarksville today. I still have a sick feeling in my gut today. You know, I've been aboard the Hall train for going almost 6 decades, and that's the worst performance I ever witnessed. I have to say, on the offensive line, I mean, just terrible. I mean, you let a team come into your backyard. I agree with everything that you're saying, Phil. Let me say this. I didn't see no fight in this team. You have a team to come into your backyard in front of your fan base and embarrass you, to set records. That cannot happen. And let me say, I have mixed feelings today. You know, Coach Pittman, no doubt about it, he's a nice guy. I said this before. If he was running for president, I'd be the first to vote for him. But getting his, as a head coach, you have to make sure your players on both sides of football on game day is ready to play football. And that, I don't see how we have these lapses. I mean, you beat one of the best teams. I thought we turned the corner against Tennessee. And, I mean, look how good Tennessee is. And then we get a week's bye, we go play LSU. At least that was a competitive football game. And then we go on the road, play Mississippi State. And then we come back and have a pretty good game, stat-wise. And then you come back in your home crowd, and you act like you've never played football. Our defensive backs never act like they heard of coverage. I've never scored 30 points in one quarter. How does that happen? Lapses, I don't have the answers for that. Let me say this. I don't know if Coach Pittman's going to be forced out or not, but definitely a change has to be made. I mean, I'm not going to cry for Coach Pittman. He's going to leave Fayetteville. Well, lot wealthier than what he came in. He's got money to do as he wishes for the rest of his life, to do him and his wife, to do whatever. So, but now you're talking about if that is true, we got to look at, you got to look for the future. And, one thing about Coach Pittman, he can't even recruit his in-state players. I don't know how that happens. I mean, you allow players to come in to your backyard, your state, and recruit players that beat you. I mean, that cannot happen. That has to, number one, that has to change. And you have to, I think we ought to go get an inside. You mentioned some of them earlier. Red Ashley. You talk about Barry Looney. I wouldn't mind having Barry Looney. Give him a chance. Coach Pittman never had a head coach in the bench job in his life till we hired him. He was primarily, here's another thing about Coach Pittman. For 2 years, he's an offensive line guy, and we cannot get it fixed. We cannot get it fixed. You telling me we can't block better than that? Look at these stats. What was it? 13 tackles for losses. What was it? 9 sacks? Come on. I've never seen an Arkansas team do that. I know you got other callers. I'm very disappointed. I told Chuck this morning, if you're relying, to get to a bowl, it's imperative that we do this year. I don't know. You talk about Louisiana Tech. Chuck said, don't worry about it. You're telling me don't worry about it? Look at that performance. You put it on.
Yeah, I'm not going to take anything for granted. No, you got it. You got it, Eddie. I'm not going to take anything for granted. They beat UAB by 10 at home. UAB has been god-awful this year. So, I'm not going to take that La Tech game for granted. No way. JR in Shady Grove, you'll take us into the break. Hey, JR, thanks for calling halftime. What's up?
Hey, Phil. It's just beyond me that the effort that was put forth on the field Saturday, after every game that we've played this year, it's beyond me that effort is shown. And it's reminiscent of last year about this time when we played Mississippi State and Auburn. And it's almost like, I don't know if it's going to be necessarily for the University of Arkansas or for other colleges to come up with more of a head manager than a head coach, because you're going to end up having to manage people that are making money that's beyond anything that regular people know about. How in the world, is this something where the collective didn't pay enough money? The kids got a sour taste in their mouth and they show up and just, are not deciding to play. There's so many different factors involved here, and we don't know what they are. All we know is that we got the snot beat out of us by a team. If you go by 4- and 5-star recruits, I don't think there's going to be that much difference between what we had and what they had. I think it's just a matter of, like Mississippi State, they didn't quit. Whenever we had them down, they didn't quit. That coach had a hold of that team. Our team quit. They quit. They give up. They was ready for that game to be over. So anyway, have a good day.
Thanks a lot, JR. Appreciate your call. We'll have more time for calls and texts as we go throughout the show, but we're going to need to break because we have 3 Up, 3 Down with Dr. Charlie Liggett from River Valley Smile Center coming up after the break. Stay with Halftime. We are right back.
You're killing me, Smalls.
This is Halftime.
From the Buffalo River to the Louisiana line, from the Texas and Oklahoma borders to the capital city and into the Delta, the natural beauty, the natural resources, and the hardworking citizens make Arkansas Sports District more than just the heart of the natural state. It is a land of opportunity to raise families, to build communities, and to do our part for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full day cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center, 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
What makes Crabtree RV Center different? First, we are a fourth-generation family-owned business, taking pride in making your family's dreams come true. No corporate mentality here. Second, we've been in business for 74 years, founded in 1950 here in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas area. We are not going anywhere. What does that mean for our customers? A family feel with no corporate hidden fees. The reassurance that we will be here for generations to come, and knowledgeable salespeople who want to pick the right RV for your family to make lifetime memories in. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Agent Randy Milam in Alma or Agent Brandon Zimmerman in Barlin.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Watching people all wonder where they're going. Hey, what's your job? What do you know?
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
So we move along in our 12 o'clock hour on a Monday on Halftime. It is, I think, the third or fourth week we're doing this. It is time with Dr. Charlie Liggett of River Valley Smile Center for 3 Up, 3 Down.
It's time for 3 Up, 3 Down. Presented by River Valley Smile Center with Dr. Charles Liggett.
3, good morning, good afternoon, good night.
What does 3 up and 3 down mean to you, Airman?
End of an inning, strike 3.
Hey, Dr. Liggett, always great to have you on Halftime today. How you doing?
I'm doing good. A little bit rougher weekend to be a Razorback fan this past weekend, huh?
Yeah, kind of mirrors the weather, too. You know, we go about, almost 2 months of a full drought, and the skies opened up most of the weekend, and it does kind of fit. It does kind of fit the football game. I'll start. I got my first up. Your Indiana Hoosiers, they have the greatest point differential in the nation right now. And it's like you look at who they've beaten, you think, well, they haven't beaten anybody, really. And it's like, okay, but they've actually beaten these nobodies by a total of 296 points in 8 games. That is impressive. Now, they still have the game with Ohio State coming up. There's an opportunity potentially for a one-loss Indiana team to make it to the playoff 12. And it's because of this point differential. I mean, I'll do my math real quickly here. 296 over 8 games. They're beating teams by 37 freaking points per game. Doesn't matter who it is at that point. Their closest win is 2 touchdowns over Maryland. And I'll go on the other side to my first down. It's Florida State scoring. If Indiana has the greatest point differential in the country, well, Florida State has scored the fewest points of any of the Power 4 teams and the second fewest of any FBS football team, which makes no sense. I think they were the 13th highest scoring team in the nation last year. They're the second lowest scoring team in the nation right now. Like, different quarterback, a lot of different players on that team. That's why it should make sense to me, Matt. 14.4 points per game for Florida State, 20 fewer than they averaged last year. And that's my first down.
Man, I didn't see that coming. I don't know how many did. I wonder, too, Phil, how much, last year when Alabama, they're doing their coaching search, they sent their plane first to Florida, to Tallahassee. I wonder how much that, that hurts or helps a team, because the same thing kind of in Kentucky with A&M. You wanted a little stability, but I know now it's different with which you can jump in that transfer portal every semester. But used to, you want your coach to be there for 5 years.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
My first up, one of my favorite all-time basketball players. He went to the University of North Carolina. He played in the NBA for years and years. Just retired with the Hawks last year. But up until 2013-14 with C-Unit's Mavericks, he was still averaging double-digit points a game. Played for the Raptors, played for the Nets. But Vince Carter, number 15. His jersey's going to be retired, or it did. It got retired over the weekend by the Toronto Raptors. Everybody remembers Vince, Phil, I think, from his USA dunk, when he jumped over the 7'7" dude. But, man, he was so much more than that. He got really good at the three-point game. Later in his career, he transitioned, and just in my opinion, first ballot Hall of Famer. One of the best to ever do it. Never won a title, but he's one of the best to ever do it.
Dr. Liggett, what do you have first? Oh, yeah, Matt, you still have a first down. What do you got for your first down?
First down goes to your boy, our C-Unit's boy, Hugh Freeze. 9 times. They played Vandy 9 more times. They might win 0 of them. But they lost 17-7 to Vandy, so it's kind of an up for Vandy. They get bowl eligible, but Auburn taking another L.
All right. What do you got, Dr. Liggett, first up and down?
First up, it's college basketball season, like you said earlier. It's not necessarily that we have to quit watching football or it's going to take over, but we can enjoy both, and I'm excited. I'm ready for some basketball too. And my first down, I don't know if you guys saw this, but did you see the police officers punching the fans at the cocktail party?
Dude, it was like a 65-year-old man sitting on the sitting on in the aisle somewhere. I saw just like a 15-second video clip of it, but it was it didn't look good.
No, it didn't look good. I don't know the whole story, and they're doing an investigation and all that, but it looked pretty rough.
That is rough. Keep the violence on the football field, I guess, is the right way to look at it here. Yeah, and I'm excited for basketball season, too. I mean, I really think this is going to be a fun year on the men's side. The women's team is selected 16th in the 16-team SEC this year, so there's not a lot of expectations. And I mean, Mike's put together, I think, what's a very interesting roster. It's just the SEC is such a behemoth. But I think there's a lot of unknowns about Arkansas this year, specifically because there's so many international players. So we'll find out some of those answers later today, first game. All right, my second up, I'm going to go to Major League Baseball. Arizona D-backs Jordan Montgomery, left-handed pitcher. You remember him from the Yankees and the Cardinals. He exercised his player's option for another year on his contract. He'll be paid $22.5 million by the D-backs for next year. I mean, this is just like a regular signing, right? It's a guy that's just taking what's on his contract and going with the language on the contract. It's a player's option. But did anybody remember what Diamondbacks owner Ken Kendrick had said publicly about the decision to sign Jordan Montgomery? This was really just like a month ago. He said, quote, "Looking back in hindsight, a horrible decision to have invested money in a guy that had performed as poorly as he did. It was our biggest mistake this season from a talent standpoint, and I'm the perpetrator of that." Just for conversation's sake, Montgomery's ERA was .623. He was one of the better starting pitchers in baseball the previous 2 years. But he got put on blast by the owner. Maybe the owner was hoping that Montgomery wouldn't take the player option, because why would you want to play for somebody that don't blast like that? Well, he'll take Ken Kendrick's cool $22.5 million and go pitch for him again next year. Second down, Arkansas in home games at Razorback Stadium. Last 2 years in the SEC, 1-5 is the record. The score is 214 points for opponents, 87 for the Razorbacks. That's an average score of 36-14 in 6 SEC games at home over the last 2 years. Matt, you're up.
My second up goes to offensive coordinator Dow Loggins at South Carolina. The Gamecocks have been on the come the last few weeks, last few ball games, just getting close. And then they were able to get over the hump and just, man, what they pulled away over what I thought was the first or second best team. I thought they were up there with Georgia. But it just shows that every week, if you don't show up and you don't bring your game, you can get beat. So big shout out to Dow Loggins there. Second down, man, the Milwaukee Bucks. A couple years ago, they had they just won a title not too long removed from an NBA title. They trade their best defensive player. They fire their coach. This year they started 1-5, last place in the East.
I guess firing Mike Budenholzer might not have been the right decision, huh? Well, it's still early in the season. Dr. Liggett, you're second up and down.
My second up, Greenwood High School football. That was pretty cool, all the stuff that they did for the Southside Greenwood game on Friday. The Greenwood players carried Isaiah, the young man that was killed in the fire. They carried his jersey out. They all wore pink because that was his favorite color. They had an intentional delay game, kind of a moment of silence kind of thing. And they did a bunch of stuff like that. It was pretty emotional. It had to be hard for them to play, and they just came out and were incredible. Kane Archer looked really good. And my second down.
Didn't I see? Wasn't the opening kickoff returned for a touchdown?
Returned for a touchdown. Game? Yeah.
Grant Carnes took the opening kickoff 98 yards for a touchdown. I mean, that's just. That's you'd find that in a script somewhere, not in real life.
No kidding. Second down for me was leaving the game in the third quarter, the Hogs game. That's the earliest I've ever left a football game. I've instilled in my daughters, we stay till the end. We don't care no matter what. Third quarter, there was just no hope in that game. Secondary just killed us, and we didn't have a chance. And I couldn't believe the stats that you just said. It's 214-87 at home.
Yeah. That's why it's like it reminded me of November from last year. I don't want to remember November from last year. I'd like to have a November to remember this year. Yeah, you're the one who chose to get up and leave, but I don't think anybody would blame you at that point either, Dr. Liggett.
Yeah, they didn't make me leave. Well, they kind of did, but
All right, I'll go with my third up. It's to Jackson Dart and the Ole Miss offense. I mean, they just you had to at least hope going into that game that they would overlook the Razorbacks. It'd be tight because of having to win out to make the playoff 12. They were open. Jackson Dart was open about. We all came back to play for a national championship. I was hoping they'd come in and they played tight. They did not. That was an offense that showed everything they could do on display without some of their stars. And yes, Arkansas did not play well. Ole Miss played incredibly well. I think they deserve a third up for that one. Third down goes to these 4 programs. 3 of them really are blue bloods. Look at the numbers of the University of Southern California Trojans, Oklahoma Sooners, Florida State Seminoles, and Oklahoma State Cowboys. These are all teams that had at least decent seasons last year. Southern California went 8-5 in their final year in the Pac-12. They're 4-5 right now, 3 games under in the Big Ten. Oklahoma, Florida State, and Oklahoma State, man, have they really fallen to earth. Oklahoma, 10 wins last year, 5 at the moment, including a 1-4 league record. I don't know what to make out of Florida State. 13-1, 8-0 last year in the ACC, 1-8, 1-7 in that league right now. And then there's Oklahoma State, 10 wins last year to 0-6 in the Big 12. And really, 3 of these are blue bloods. 2 of them moving conferences, and it's just not going very well for the Trojans and the Sooners. College football 2024, Matt. That's my third down.
That's wild, yeah, because in even Oklahoma State, Phil, they were picked. You know, a lot of people had them picked to win the Big 12 this year. My third up goes to another former teammate of mine, head coach Rhett Lashley. He has the Mustangs 7-1. I know it was a 48-25 victory over Phil's Pitt Panthers, but hey, man, both those teams are having phenomenal seasons. Speaking of, teams that haven't really been, up to snuff, Rhett Lashley's got SMU. He's got them rocking.
They've got a good path to the ACC championship too.
Now, will they play Clemson? Or Clemson just took an L? Will they play Miami? Is that who
I think Boston College, Virginia, and California.
Oh,
they should be favored in all those.
Okay, yeah, dude, man, how crazy! That'd be crazy if they got into the playoff 12. And they were making a jump from last year. I thought they'd take a step back because last year they were in a different conference and they jumped up, but they just keep winning. Them in Indiana, that'd be a nice matchup to see them two play. And then a game that a guy that I'm always y'all all know I'm a big fan of Jimmy Franklin at Penn State. I think he's a heck of a coach. I think he's a top 10 coach, and then he just lets me down again. And another big game, big matchup. Need the W, need the win. Penn State, though, if they win out, they'll still be in, I think. I think they'd be, because that'd just be one loss to it. That you'd start looking at how good is your loss. That's a good loss because Ohio State's in. But just again, a single score game, and just couldn't find a way to get the victory.
What did I say? I think I saw Penn State is 1-23 against the top 5 since the year 2000. That's crazy. All right, Dr. Liggett, take us home.
Okay, I didn't get to watch the game, but I saw this highlight. Did you guys see the highlight of Saquon Barkley making a spin move and then a reverse hurdle? I've never seen anybody do that before.
That was one of the most. Well, Fred Taylor used to do some crazy things like that were just better than everybody. But speaking of Penn State running backs, I mean, that was one of the most athletic, Doc. That was one of the most athletic moves I've seen all year in NFL.
Yeah, that was crazy. And my third down, I'm waiting for the day when I can move this to the up category, but the Dolphins lose again on a walk-off field goal again. This time a 61-yard field goal.
Oh, 61.
Yeah, 61. And, man, Josh Allen, they played the Bills. Josh Allen is so good at avoiding the rush. He's
top 5
really
quarterback, I think, in the NFL. I think Josh Allen is, yeah. What about those Philadelphia Eagle jerseys? I know you're a Dolphins fan, but I absolutely love those Randall Cunningham throwbacks.
Those look great.
Yeah, those are sweet.
I don't know why they ever moved away from that color. I love that color. All right, well, it's always fun to do 3 up, 3 down. I want to revisit real quick, though, that Saquon Barkley move. So it was a spin to get past a couple of players and then a backwards leapfrog over somebody else. Barkley said he did that in college one year. These can't be anything you practice, right? I mean, these
No
are
way.
it is
Can't be.
literally just a video game move.
That's exactly right.
That was
Yeah,
pretty
you
cool.
shouldn't be able to do those things. Well, 3 Up, 3 Down is presented by River Valley Smile Center. Matt's a patient of Dr. Liggett, and you can be too.
Absolutely, man. Get out there to River Valley Smile. They've best of the best 9 years in a row, and Dr. Charlie will take care of you.
Dr. Charlie, tell us about River Valley Smile Center and the things that you all specialize in.
Well, we have a major focus on cosmetics, but we also do just general dentistry, including fillings, crowns, extractions, gum treatment, whitening, sleep apnea treatment, implants, and a whole lot more. We're the only place around that you can get general dentistry done under sedation. But what I wanted to mention, I've talked about it the last couple of weeks, but on Friday we hosted the 3rd annual Operation Stand Down. That's where we do free dental work for veterans. We always try to do it around Veterans Day, but took place in 7 cities in Arkansas, and it's the largest Operation Stand Down in the country. We helped a ton of people. We did $40,000 worth of free dental treatment for veterans in Fort Smith in my office on Friday. It was a great time. Just want to thank all the volunteers and everybody who donated their time and services and food and supplies. It was a great time. Can't wait till next year.
Call River Valley Smile Center, Dr. Liggett, Dr. Cole Johnson, and Dr. Hannah Kay. They can take care of all your dental needs as well. rivervalleysmiles.com or call 479-646-0706. Doc, you go ahead. Finish it off.
Come see us at River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family. Go Hogs.
Thanks, Dr. Liggett. Always appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Have fun.
Thanks, Doc.
Get with us on halftime, 877-377-6963. More right after the break.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
This is Halftime.
For too long, our rural communities have been left behind. It shouldn't matter where you live. Everyone needs access to the justice system. I'm Justice Rhonda Wood, and I'm running for Chief Justice of the Arkansas Supreme Court. I understand the challenges that our rural communities face, and I've worked to create solutions for courts across the state. I will make improving our justice system in rural communities a priority as your next Chief Justice. I'm Rhonda Wood, and I'm asking for your vote on November 5th, because Arkansas is stronger when our communities are stronger.
Paid for by Wood for Justice.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel Crick Hopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The Crick Hopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel Crick Hopper.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Hey, Wes.
Billy, hay is for horses.
I have an idea to bring in more customers.
What you got?
We yell on the radio, "Woo! Pig suey!"
We're going to call the hogs?
Yeah, we call them all in. Woo! Pig suey! Come get your pizza at Jim's Razorback Pizza.
I'd rather not.
Don't you love the hogs?
Of course. But we can't call our customers hogs.
But they're hog fans, and our name is Jim's Razorback Pizza.
Billy, I love your enthusiasm. Look it, if you think we should do it, then let's do it.
Woo! Pixie!
What about moo instead of woo? We use Wisconsin cheese.
Really? You and them dang cows. Woo! Pixie!
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Once in my life, I have someone who needs me. Someone I've needed so long. For once unafraid, I can go where life leads me. Somehow I know I'll be strong.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Got a quick segment here, so we've got Alan and Rogers on hold. Let's go right to the phone. Let's talk with Alan. Appreciate your call, Alan. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I always enjoy your show. I just got a kind of a question for Matt, since he's a quarterback guru. Now I don't know if there's going to be quarterback controversy or not, but Talon Green versus Malachi Singleton. I thought Singleton was the one bright spot for the game on Saturday, and I was disappointed too that Braylon Russell didn't play more. I think he's got star potential, but I'd like to get Matt's opinion on that deal.
The Russell thing, I think there's something wrong with him. I don't know. They didn't detail what it is. Otherwise, I think he'd have gotten plenty of carries. But as far as quarterback play, Matt, go for it.
Well, yeah, as far as Russell, I think he's a star, too. He's somebody I'm worried about when it comes to the next portal season. Like, somebody's going to be hunting for him. So hopefully we can keep him. I think what it proves is we have a competent backup quarterback. You know, you look across the SEC, you look at the landscape, and you got to have two at every position. You got to have some depth. Man, that's what you want. When the backup number gets called, you don't want there to be a big drop-off. Now, he needs more reps. I don't know if there's necessarily a quarterback controversy right now, but it makes me feel better that we talked about this. All right, well, is 75% of Talon Green good enough to still be this? Well, maybe not. Maybe if he is a little banged up, you got somebody that you can go to. For everything I've seen out of the backup, out of Singleton so far this year, it's hard to you can nitpick or you say, but it's really, he hasn't done a lot of wrong. He's been doing what he's supposed to do. I think it's pretty cool to know that you have a backup quarterback.
Alan, I'll say this, like the touchdown run that Singleton had that got called back because of the way they had lined up and a penalty, he's faster than I thought. He's got wheels. So I was impressed with his speed, and I thought he did play very well.
Yeah, he's certainly impressive. I think, yeah. So yeah, you're right. It's good to have two of them. So, but yeah, I thought he's always been very impressive. Yep.
Alan, thanks a lot. Appreciate your time and your call. 877-377-6963. But here's my thing though, Matt. It's like if we're going to look at the things that ail Arkansas right now. I mean, can Taylon Green cover a defensive back? Can Taylon Green cover a wide receiver or block a defensive end? Because if he can do those things better than he can play quarterback, I'd move him to that position and then have Singleton play quarterback. Otherwise, I don't think there's a controversy at the moment.
Yeah, Taylor Green's super talented. That's for sure. I like what I saw out of the backup. I trust these coaches up there that they're playing the right guy. And then again, it's the second half. Ole Miss, the game's out of hand. How much are they really putting on him? But what he did is he handled himself the right way. Maybe you have to worry about him too next year, Phil, because maybe that's something I guess we can get into in a couple weeks. But who are you worried about that might get plucked? Singleton's showing because every time he goes out there and puts tape out there, he's been improving as well. He might be somebody's out there trying to pluck as well.
You're going to feel good about your trip over to Crabtree RV Center in Alma. If you got ideas to make a big-time trip with the family over the next summertime or the springtime, they've got the perfect RV on the lot at Crabtree RV Center to fit your needs. You find them at the junction of I-40 and I-49 right beside the Cracker Barrel in Alma and online at crabtreerv.com. We'll take a quick break, wrap up our second hour of halftime after this.
I'll be back.
This is halftime.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Looking to boost your health and feel your best? Elite Wellness and Aesthetics in Fort Smith is here to help. Starting at only $200 a month, semaglutide and tirzepatide are weight loss shots that can kickstart your journey to a healthier, more confident you. And with Elite's hormone therapy treatments, you can restore balance, energy, and vitality. Take control of your health today with Elite Wellness and Aesthetics. 479-242-9355 to schedule your appointment or visit FortSmithElite.com. Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, getting to know you inside and out.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With the never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call, cleans it all.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. Here at ESPN Arkansas, we rely on Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on the radio station when we're not here. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your stuff. Guardtronic, license E50.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Wake up, baby, I think I got something to say to you. It's late September and I really should be back at school. I know I keep you amused, but I feel I'm amused. Oh, Maggie, I couldn't have tried anymore.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
877-377-6963. Folks, got a lot to say today during the second hour of halftime. And Cecil is next up. Cecil, it's your chance. What you got today, man? How are you?
Oh man, you know I'm listening every day, every minute of the hour. I heard Matt say about talented. Yeah, Green Hill's talented, but it's the best fit for a game in a situation. Green, he's tall. He has showed us he can throw the ball. But Singleton.
Who do you want to start against Texas after a bye week?
I would start Singleton, or I would play both of them. And the reason why I would play both of them because they both fit in different situations. Singleton, he just moves faster, and he can throw too. He can run really fast, and Green can. It just depends on what situation we're in. Like, you know, I mean, he went in Tennessee, did his thing. And then he went in and scored against Ole Miss. And Ole Miss is they tough, man. I was right there on the third row, right behind them. And I'm like, wow, they all had big thighs, but they was huge. And they made all our defensive backs was skinny, man. Dude, the one always flip his hands down when he make a play. He'll do that after we getting our butt kicked. And he'll make one play and then taunt, man. Come on, man. Come on now. And then you playing the man 20 yards off the ball, and he run right past you and dust you. Now, check this one out. It was 4th down with 15 seconds to go, Matt. I know you was watching the game, too. It was 15 seconds to go in the game. I told Doug, I said, Doug, you know they don't have any timeouts. It's 4th down before halftime. I said, they're going to the corner. And the reason why they went to the corner because they don't have no timeouts. The receiver's the only one who can get the ball. He should have been double teamed. He was the only wideout, number 11. And that's the play they ran, and they scored on us. But like I say, we just got to get better, man.
Yeah, we got to end the segment here. And always good to talk to you, Cecil. Thank you very much. I would just say, like, out of the things that are the reason why Arkansas has struggled against the good SEC teams, I just don't think quarterback play is at the top of the list. I don't know, with 3 games remaining, if now's the time to be trying to start or play 2 quarterbacks in the same game. I don't think Taylor Green is the reason that they got blown out by Ole Miss. Can he block? Can he cover? If he had more blocking, I think he'd have done a little bit better as well. All right, we're into the third hour of halftime. We will be right back.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics. What makes you unique from other stores in the area?
I try to build a great relationship with all of my customers. I can do just anything from cars to food trucks to signs, banners. I do a lot of custom this. 100% of anybody come in here, they leave out happy. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road-ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Showers and thunderstorms could be strong to severe as we head through the afternoon. There is the potential for some large hail, damaging winds, and even a few isolated tornadoes. In addition to the severe weather, we could see very heavy rain this afternoon through tonight. High temperatures today, mid-70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming to you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
You got a good one tonight. You got to take me here. You have to respect it. Don't ask me if I'm all right. Well, can't they dominate? And we're not doing it. You're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
For one Razorback, vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Third hour of halftime on a Monday. Motored right through the first 120 minutes, Matt. Feels like 2 hours. 877-377-6963 to get with us for calls and texts here. I'm Phil Elson, Matt Jones, my partner. Colton Little, C45, is producing in the chair as we have our final bye of the season. Basketball tonight at Bud Walton Arena, 6:30 tip-off, Arkansas versus Fairfield in the women's game. And then you get your first well, I guess your second look at the men's team inside Bud Walton Arena Wednesday, but it'll actually be a real game instead of an exhibition with a game against Lipscomb on Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. Anybody nervous about a exhibition loss to TCU? I don't know. So let's go over and take a phone call here. Got Melvin and Sheridan who waited over the break. Melvin, appreciate that. Thanks a lot. How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How about y'all?
I'm great. Thank you.
I tell you, I've come to realize that we really need to get off the coaches back, get off the Razorbacks back, and get what we get. We can't afford, and I say this meaning that we cannot afford a football team like we've seen the Texas A&Ms, the LSUs, and the Ole Misses. We can't afford that. I say that we're going to take our whoopings, smile when we win, and let's move on to basketball and baseball. That's what the university needs to be known for. We can raise and afford those two things. We cannot. I've heard it all my life. We do not have the athletes in Arkansas to support our own football team, and we can't afford a football team. Look at Jerry and all them. There's not 64 offensive tackles that play in the NFL. We expect to get any kind of athletes at Arkansas, and I'll listen.
All right, Sheridan, Melvin, call him by the town he lives in. Thanks very much. Yeah, I mean, I guess I sense a little bit of it's an exasperation with the state of the roster and the feeling. And I mean, the head coach also the head coach even just kind of sits and stews inside of that. It isn't just Sam. It's plenty of the other coaches in the SEC or across the country that in their own league are comparing their NIL funds to all the other funds in the same league, and it's appreciated. I mean, I think that is a difference, and one of the reasons why things feel so weird this year. But I mean, I think Sam, in the idea of the comment of we got the Louis Vuitton defensive line against the Walmart offensive line, or however it is that he put it. I don't know if that was a message that he delivered to the players during the week, because he said the same thing on his radio show on Wednesday, which made me feel like this was a message he was delivering to them throughout the week, or at least in a couple of spots. Like, there's humor involved in that and a little cutesiness potentially, but I don't know. I wouldn't, even if it's appreciated or understood that that's the case, I wouldn't want to be referred to as the blue light special. I just wouldn't. It's not necessarily the kind of message that you want to hear from your coach. But again, I don't know if that's the message he did deliver to the team, but he talked about it on the coach's show, brought it up on the sideline during the game Saturday. So it was definitely something in his mind.
Man, that was I don't know. I didn't hear any of that, what he's talking, but as being raised by somebody who was a head football coach, it's a lot of psychology. And so what you're getting at, Phil, you're trying to convey a message to the kids. If it's David versus Goliath, whatever you're trying to say and get across and get their best. And for whatever reason, I don't think anybody gave their best on Saturday.
Here's part of what I'm having trouble with. The coach that's been talking about NIL with his NIL resources compared to the others, and he was talking about it way before even Media Days came out, was Mark Stoops. Stoops talking about all he's got to do with NIL and what we've got in NIL compared to the others. That Kentucky team beat Ole Miss, all right? You got a team that's complaining about NIL on one side, and they stink in most of the other games they play. They still went out and beat the $10 million special. EJ is with us in Russellville. Hi, EJ. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are y'all?
Great, thanks.
I've heard all kinds of people talk today and about the real problems with the football program, whether it be some of the players, whether it be the coach. But what we really got here is we've got a kind of middle-of-the-road coach. We're paying him $6 or $7 million a year, something like that. Where does that rank in the salaries for head coaches in the SEC? And then we got the same thing with recruiting, and with where's our recruiting class compared to the SEC? Where's our transfer portal class in the SEC? If we think we're going to outpace anybody else without kind of hitting on those three things, it's a fool's errand. We're never going to get there.
So you're feeling like financially you're never going to be at the place where the other schools are. What if there is an even playing field? What if there are rules that schools have to adhere to in a union that agrees to whatever the level playing field looks like? Does that change things in your mind, or do you think that schools go back to what was going on before, which is you just cheat and keep it under the table, and if you get caught, so be it?
Yeah, it'll probably happen that way. I mean, anytime you have rules, there's going to be people that go around trying to break those rules, skirt them somehow. So you're always going to have that. I would like there to be some kind of a salary cap for the players, and try to make it fair on that end at least as much as possible.
Well, it sounds like there will be a number that they'll adhere to on a conference by conference basis. It's just the feeling of, even if that's collectively bargained and you agree to stick to whatever that number is, and it's over the entire athletic department, not just sport by sport, that there's still going to be, people that are looking for another way around that, which I think that is what was going on before NIL was legal, and nobody was really happy with that situation either, but at least you felt like there were rules that were being followed. Got Rod on I-40 with us next. Rod, how you doing today, and how are the roads after all that rain?
Well, it got a little breezy last night, but yeah, it's just damp. It's not bad. No more wrecks for the time being.
All right, that's good to hear.
I've heard everybody talk, and it goes back to the root of the matter to me. I've seen a parade of offensive and defensive coordinators over the last several years, and I always heard growing up when I was playing ball that the team takes on the personality of the coach. That's all I've ever heard. That is concerning to me.
Well, I mean I think that, and I've heard this criticism about other coaches in previous years. You'd hear the same thing about Mike Anderson. Just looked like he had a lack of fire in some people's minds. I will say, I don't know. It's not like you necessarily have to have a coach that reflects the temperature of the fan base. But if the fan base ever needed something like that this past Saturday, it might have felt good for them, for Sam Pittman to get angry on camera. We're talking to the writers, not necessarily, putting players on blast or anything like that, but just being angry about it. And, I don't know what it's like to coach a full football game, especially when you've got as bad of a hip as Coach Pittman has. I think people want to see that he's angry. You want to see emotion? I think you want to see that he's angry about it. And maybe he is, but maybe this is just a quiet burn. I don't know. Rod, thanks for the phone call. Appreciate that. Let's go to Pinto in Fayetteville. Hi, Pinto. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Coach Pittman, he was on SEC Nation during warm-ups while he was out on the field, and that's when he came out with the very first Walmart, Louis Vuitton, and Blue Light Special. But I just think he was trying to a little bit of motivate his players, kind of like Nolan Richardson. Talking about, I believe it might have been in the Final Four when we were playing Duke. And they had McDonald's All-Americans, and we had Burger King All-Americans.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when he did that too. It's just like there's a big difference with the players, at least by that point. Like, we're in the Final Four. Coach is making a joke about this. This is funny, but they're in the Final Four. I mean, it's well appreciated that those players were not Blue Light Special players. This is a different situation. I think in Coach Pittman's mind, while he certainly loves the players, I don't question that. I think he does. I think there is a view that these are more discount players compared to who you were playing.
I also think maybe it's a little bit of a message towards Arkansas and Yurachek that, hey, Ole Miss going down there and they got a blank checkbook to buy that defensive line, and you got me out here searching the hinterlands for for 2-star and 3 stars that are in secluded places, and we're just hoping they come here and turn out to be something.
Pinto, thanks for your
I
phone
need
call.
more money is what he's saying. I need more money.
Remember, they did this. The same thing happened last year, though it was at the end of the season. He was talking about you got to get the NIL situation better. That was just about 11 months ago, and it's understood. I thought that NIL was in a better place, but apparently it's not in the place that a lot of the other teams in the league might be in. Certainly not Ole Miss. So that same message last year too. Pinto, thanks for the phone call. Appreciate hearing from you. 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. Basketball season is here. Get over to the Stadium Shop on Razorback. They got everything you need for basketball season. That includes your dorm room stuff, your man cave decorations, all kinds of flags. The temperature is cooling down as well, so you can stock up on your long sleeve or fleeces at the Stadium Shop. It's all got a Razorback on it, and it doesn't get any more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Call Robert, Elizabeth, or Matt at 479-STADIUM. Or stop by the Stadium Shop on Razorback and tell them ESPN sent you. Online as well at shoponrazorback.com. We'll break. We'll talk with Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South after this.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
This is halftime.
Building warriors.
Physical toughness and physicality matter more now than ever before.
Competing for each other.
You can care about the kids and still win.
Upholding the Hawk standard.
Whatever we do, we'll have good people who are driven and wired, knowing that there's an expectation here and not being afraid of it.
This is one of those Razorback moments.
Follow John Calipari in Arkansas on the hardwood all season long.
Right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
From the Buffalo River to the Louisiana line, from the Texas and Oklahoma borders to the capital city and into the Delta, the natural beauty, the natural resources, and the hardworking citizens make Arkansas's 4th District more than just the heart of the natural state. It is a land of opportunity to raise families, to build communities, and to do our part for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
It's fall cleanup time at Gray Brothers Equipment. From the large M7 Series cab Kubotas to the L2502, the best-selling compact tractor in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Gray Brothers and Kubota will make your fall cleanup a breeze. With great pricing and interest rates as low as 0% for 84 months, they're making fall cleanup enjoyable again at Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon. Now through 12/31/2024. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center, 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you stuck in a paper jam of printer prices? Paper cuts from budget cuts? Don't throw in the towel. Call Dixie Digital Imaging and dive into our new and used inventory blowout. We're slashing prices on top-of-the-line Xerox, Brother, and Epson printers and multifunction devices. Gently used or brand new models that are tired of being in our warehouse. Don't miss out on these deals. Call 479-783-6600 for more details. Quantities and availability are limited. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Got 6 troubles on my back. Got 6 little milk tea, all gone bad. Won't move over, won't get on, won't move over. Got 10 minutes to get me good.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Headed to the phones, Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South joining us here on Halftime, national senior columnist at SDS. Connor, happy November. Got some rankings coming out tomorrow, but I guess we got to start on Arkansas versus Ole Miss. Rebels looked like they had a lot to play for, and boy, did they play for it.
Yeah, 63 points against an actual respected defense is no small feat, so you got to give credit to Ole Miss for doing that. But, yeah, just a letdown performance. And, you know, kind of been the story of the year so far for Arkansas. It's just this, you know, this back and forth. I mean, the fact that they haven't won 2 in a row against FBS competition, but they haven't lost 2 or I guess I should say SEC competition. They also haven't lost 2 in a row. It's just been kind of a Jekyll and Hyde type year, and I don't know which one's the bad one between Jekyll and Hyde, but whoever it is showed up on Saturday against Ole Miss.
Connor, I don't think Jackson Dart is a kid that's going to play on Sundays. I get it that he's uber talented, but what about this receiver that we made look like an All-American, Watkins? Is he good enough? Is he good enough to play on Sundays?
Yeah, I like Jordan Watkins a lot, and I like coming into the season. It's kind of the forgotten man in that receiver room, which, by the way, added Juice Wells this offseason, but he's not necessarily been the number one that they're hoping he could be. The issue is the fact that Trey Harris is the number 2 leading receiver in FBS, and Arkansas had an opportunity to capitalize the fact that he wasn't on the field on Saturday. And Ole Miss had been kind of searching for somebody to step up in his absence, and they let Jordan Watkins do that in a big way. And it wasn't just scheme. Yeah, he's beating guys over the top and beating them in single coverage. Jackson Dart's putting balls in tight windows, and the fact that he was able to pretty much get every blade of grass that he wanted on Saturday is more of the issue. It kind of felt like what Arkansas secondary was a couple of years ago in the final year of the Barry Odom era, and instead you saw that play out on Saturday, and you couldn't find those answers on the back end, and it certainly cost them.
Connor, how did Kentucky ever beat Ole Miss? That is the same Kentucky team that's lost 4 games in a row without scoring more than 20 in any of them. I mean, I know what I watched at Razorback Stadium. I saw a defense that can get after you when they feel like they want to. Was it a matter of effort, just effort in that game? What happened?
Maybe it was. I mean, Ole Miss seems to be, at least according to Lane Kiffin, a team that feels like they can flip the switch on and off. And it was certainly off in that game against Kentucky because you kind of go back and look at it. It wasn't that Kentucky's offense was particularly good on that day to be able to win in Oxford. It was more so that the Ole Miss offense just totally fell apart against a relatively disciplined Kentucky defense. It just didn't have those answers down the stretch. And, you know, you kind of wonder, all right, well, why was that team able to have so much success against Arkansas? And I think part of it is the fact that, you know, you see a scheme that was working a lot more favorably against Arkansas. There were a lot of big windows that Jackson Dart was throwing into. And if they're going to be able to protect on that offensive line, that's everything. That's been a little bit of a roller coaster for Ole Miss this year. Against Kentucky, they didn't have that. They didn't have those protections that they needed to, and against an Arkansas defense that has struggled at times to get after the quarterback. Has been good on the defensive line, but that has not necessarily been a set it and forget it strength. And you saw that kind of surface. And man, I just did not expect them to be able to put up that kind of an offensive showing against that Arkansas defense.
Connor, I missed on this one. I had, when the playoff committee comes out next week, or if it's tomorrow, I had Texas A&M in the top 5. What happened? Was Dow Loggins' game plan? Did you have the 2 running backs going for 100 yards? Did Texas A&M just not get off the bus? Kind of explain that one to me.
South Carolina's legit. They're absolutely legit, and they were legit in getting respect going into that matchup against A&M because of their defensive front and the things that they've been able to do really in all but one of their matchups. Ole Miss, ironically enough, is the only time that you kind of looked at that South Carolina defensive front and wondered, you know what, like that they can't necessarily will them to a victory or will them to contention in a game. And against A&M, it wasn't just that South Carolina defensive line, which, by the way, didn't even have a sack until the final, 6 minutes of that game. Did a really nice job pursuing Marcel Reed, but it was more so because Texas A&M could not tackle Lenore Sellers and ear muffin Arkansas fans, but they couldn't tackle Rocket Sanders. Rocket Sanders was vintage Rocket Sanders. He looks like the guy that we saw a couple of years ago that was top 10 in the country in scrimmage yards. He was phenomenal. I mean, he was absolutely phenomenal, looked completely healthy, and against an A&M defensive front that is also really respected, that was no small feat to do that. Now, that atmosphere, it'll get the better of some elite opponents. We saw a couple of years ago what South Carolina did in that stunning game against Tennessee. This wasn't quite that because A&M fought back in that game to be able to tie it 20-20 going into half, but South Carolina down the stretch, man, they just put them away, and that is a team that is really, really scary if you have to face them in the final month. So I don't really look at it as a massive indictment of A&M, more so just South Carolina's legit.
Connor, there's a couple of teams that have a chance to really ruin some other teams' chances to at least make it to Atlanta or to be in the conversation about however many of the teams that may be tied for first or second place at some point. Arkansas gets Texas and Mizzou. Florida has Texas, LSU, and Ole Miss. I mean, you could even throw Carolina in there because they play Missouri. But out of Arkansas and Florida, do you see Arkansas with an opportunity to upset either of those two teams? I thought maybe Florida, but maybe not with DJ Lagway out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, in TBD, if that's going to be the case, Billy Napier said that it's not as significant as they initially feared, which would be great because that was a troubling development to see him go down a non-contact injury, what looked like a situation in which he just got his foot caught up on that Everbank Stadium turf, and he was ultimately carted off the field. Yeah, I mean, if he's not healthy and they're out there starting a preferred walk-on from Yale in Aiden Warner, that's a different story for Florida and competing in these games down the stretch. So, yeah, I mean, if they have Lagway, that's a different story because Florida's been much better the last 5 weeks than they were early in the season. But yeah, you kind of look at the remaining schedule for Arkansas and you'd say, all right, well, you have a chance against Texas because I don't think Texas is the world beater we thought they were going to be coming into the season, at least at different points of this season as well, coming into the Georgia game more so. And I think it's because they've got some issues on that offensive line. Can this Arkansas defense bounce back the next time we see them? And can they actually look like a really formidable unit up front and give that offensive line some problems? Because you can force Quinn Ewers into some mistakes. I think I saw a stat that Texas was leading FBS with first quarter turnovers. That is a weird stat to say about a team that's ranked in the top 5 in college football. But Texas can be had, so who knows? I'd look at that matchup, and then Mizzou, I mean, they're just not – they're not what their record suggests they are. They're a lot worse than that. Whether or not they have Brady Cook, that remains to be seen.
You get the Alabama-LSU matchup this next week, but then another one that's top of mind is Ole Miss Georgia, Connor. Ole Miss, if they win this game, that would be one of their best wins. They'd have 2 losses. If Ole Miss wins out, they in the playoff 12?
I think so, because if you beat Georgia, that carries a lot of weight. It just will. I would expect Georgia to be ranked probably second in those first rankings, possibly third, depending on how much the select committee values what Ohio State just did in Happy Valley. But yeah, I would look at that 10-2 slate if they're able to beat Georgia. You win at Florida, and then you beat Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl, and that would be winning 5 in a row to end the regular season. Now, I don't think Ole Miss is going to do that. I don't, despite the fact that they could force Carson Beck into mistakes, because everybody feels like they can force Carson Beck into mistakes these days. But I just kind of question what it's going to look like for that offensive line, and if they're going to be able to protect against Georgia's defensive front, if we're going to see a different version of Jackson Dart than the one who put up 63 points, obviously, this past weekend in Fayetteville. So I would have some issue assuming that's going to be the case. But, yeah, man, if they're able to get to 10-2 with a win against Georgia on their resume, I think that they're able to overcome that Kentucky loss, and they would be into the college football playoff.
Connor, my eyes, I've been watching this Razorback football team. I know you watch a lot more college football than I do. That's why I want to ask you. Phil and I was talking. I think Andrew Armstrong will be first or second team all-conference, all-SEC receiver. What do you think? Do you think he's putting on – I mean, I haven't seen anybody stop him all year.
Yeah, I think and part of that, too, we'll wait and see kind of, if guys are healthy down the stretch. Trey Harris has had himself a whale of a year, but – a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I did like my Dudes Who Deserve Better team in the SEC, and I included Andrew Armstrong on that because the year that he's having is going kind of largely unnoticed, nationally speaking. I think Arkansas fans have come to appreciate how good of a player he's been, but I put him on that Dudes Who Deserve Better team because he didn't have a touchdown until that LSU game. And you're like, man, this guy has been too good, too consistent, and one of those guys that has just developed into a set-it-and-forget-it number one guy that has been kind of rare in the SEC if you look at it. So I think he's going to absolutely be in contention for it. Keandre Lambert-Smith is another guy for Auburn who's just been a revelation as a Penn State transfer. So, yeah, I mean, I would very much expect him to be part of that conversation. If Trey Harris, isn't able to come back, then who knows with him. But, yeah, Andrew Armstrong has just developed into a phenomenal player that's worthy of getting all conference accolades.
I'm going to bring up some Indiana stuff next week when it's Indiana. Ohio State week, which, I mean, you and I know this just from being former students at Indiana, though you graduated there. I can't believe that game could end up being the one that decides who plays in a Big Ten championship game and that there's a legitimate chance Indiana actually wins.
What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive to think about Indiana being a 2-touchdown favorite at home against the defending champs. I mean, let's think about that. And I know Michigan is not what it was last year. But I can't even say that with a straight face, man. It's unbelievable to think about what they continue to do. They finally face a deficit at Michigan State, and then it's just like, oh no, don't worry about it, 10-0. We're just going to storm back, and we're just going to blow Michigan State out of the water. I mean, that's just what they've done all year. And yeah, I realize they have not beat elite competition, so I'm going to have no problem if they're sitting there at number 10 in the first playoff rankings, because ultimately you've got to beat quality opponents. You can only play your schedule, but they've been everything you could have hoped for and more against that schedule. And, yeah, who knows what's going to happen against Ohio State. Maybe they're going to be able to play a 60-minute game and kind of have that at-large berth locked up either way. But, yeah, it's surreal. It is surreal, and for the losingest program there is in all of college football, to see it play out the way that it has so far this year, man, it's everything from here on out I think is gravy for IU fans.
Connor, thanks a lot. Always good to talk to you. Have a great week.
Gentlemen, you too. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Connor.
Connor O'Gara, national senior columnist at Saturday Down South. Indiana isn't just a favorite over Michigan. They're 14-point favorites at home over Michigan. I can't even remember a day where Indiana was ever even favored over Michigan.
Maybe
in anything except basketball.
I saw where South Carolina is actually favored over Vandy. I thought it might be the other way around, but yeah, that's another good one as well.
Let's see, if I can actually spell the name Vanderbilt correctly here. Yeah, Carolina's 3-point favorite in Nashville, at least for the time being. That's on the Bet Saracen app. Make sure you're inside the state of Arkansas's borders to use Bet Saracen. It works on your Apple iPhone. Just download from the App Store. Go to Google Play for Android users. Any web browser works as well. That's betsaracen.com. They got the Monday Night Football game up tonight. And Arkansas State basketball is also up there They open the season against Louisiana Lafayette. All the NFL regular season games from this next weekend are up as well. It's all on Bet Saracen. 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. It's the home stretch, and we are right back after this.
Last issue. Chaz Michaels is figure skating.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Hey, Arkansas. Are you feeling lucky? Because the Lotto jackpot is seriously over $4 million right now. A jackpot this high won't last long. And this one is only one in Arkansas. Some lucky player could be buying the winning ticket right now. Play twice a week for your chance at a life-changing jackpot. Tickets start at only $2. Don't miss Lotto. Only in Arkansas. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Summer may be slowing down, but the deals at Vivid Seats haven't. Whether it's scoring MLB tickets for a night at the ballpark or locking down the biggest matchups for the upcoming football season, Vivid Seats has you covered. With the only rewards program in the game, plus an amazing selection of tickets, Vivid Seats has something for every fan. Catch the deals you want for the games you crave, all backed by a 100% buyer guarantee. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
COP CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
In the communities we serve, we know your energy is best spent on the things you enjoy. That's why we're helping you save your energy with natural gas. More efficient than other energy sources, save your energy for cheering on the Hogs. Be tailgate ready with your natural gas-powered outdoor grill. Enjoy fast, cozy comfort from your natural gas fireplace when ball games get chilly. At AOG, we know your Razorback pride runs deep. Ours does too. And so does our commitment to caring for the communities we serve with Always On Energy. Visit AOGC.com.
Ty Richardson, we're live here at First Financial Mortgage. I'm here with my friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan, I know I probably texted you 100 times during this process, man. I didn't know what I was doing. Luckily, you did.
Yeah, Ty. It was always great working with you. Glad we could help you get closed. A good loan officer is someone who can answer questions after hours, before hours, and be available when you're needed. We get pre-qualifications in, get buyers pre-qualified so they can search for homes and get them closed quick. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5. FFB1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're live at Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, 9700 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
If you don't wear tailored clothing, dressing up a lot, you don't want to spend a lot of money on it, the rental is the way to go because you get in a lot less expensive. Your party all matches and you look really coordinated with the ladies in your event. You get to try it on so everybody knows that it fits. There's no worries the weekend of the wedding. Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental because it's fun to look good.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
In pocket, gunpowder, I'm gonna use it. Intention, make you notice. Got motion, student emotion. Been diving, data leaning, no visa. It seems so pretty. But make you notice. Gonna use my arms, gonna use my legs, gonna use my style, gonna use my senses, gonna use my fingers.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Pretty much the entire western half of the state of Arkansas and all of northern and northwestern north central and northwestern Arkansas under a tornado watch throughout the remainder of the day. There was a warning. I think our listeners on our 95.3 affiliate out of Fort Smith heard the emergency alert system. There was a tornado warning just south of Boonville 30 minutes ago, and just looks really ugly, really, really scary out there. So please be very safe on the roads. And I've already made a change in my plans. I was going to head home after the basketball game tonight, but I don't think driving at night is a very good idea if you don't have to tonight. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on Halftime. RD is on hold. Hey, RD, thanks for calling. What's up?
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call. Hey, what a difference a week makes, huh?
Yeah. Well, what a difference. First of all, a much better opponent makes. I think we saw.
Well, yeah, for sure. Basketball and football, no doubt a better opponent. Just a couple of thoughts, though. I go back to listening to the quarterback situation a few callers ago and talking about quarterback and stuff like that. But I think it makes a big difference, too. When you're making this kind of money, I think it's easy to let go of the rope. Not saying that's what happened. Not saying that we need to make a change. I'm just saying that I think Matt knows that when you bleed Arkansas blood like a guy like Matt does, or like a guy like maybe the Clark brothers or whoever, it means more to them. And I don't know how much our quarterback, he's our, quarterback by usually is the leader that everybody takes their cue from him, how much he's getting in these guys, face and screaming at them, let's get our jobs done. So it just looked to me like that Arkansas just kind of let go of the rope, and I don't know if that's anything to do with Green or not. I have no idea, but I think it means more when you're an Arkansas kid, and by all appearances, that's coming. It seems like that's coming at quarterback maybe in the future. So I don't know. As far as coaches go, Rhett Lashley's not coaching against Alabama's, Georgia's, LSU's, Tennessee's. I don't know if that makes a difference or not either. You guys know more about that than I do, but it's a whole different ballgame when you start on that level.
That's understood. All it does mean to me, though, is that you can scheme, you can motivate, you can find ways to beat your opponent, whoever it is that's on the other side of you. And it's like, well, what's first, the chicken or the egg? Is it you coach in the SEC and therefore you can start learning how to beat teams in the SEC, or do you get into the SEC and then finally you start winning some games or something? I don't know. I think Lashley probably.
I agree with you.
Yeah, but I think he'll get a look. It's just. I just want to know that a coach can win games, right? Like a Kalen DeBoer, I trust that eventually, maybe not this year, but they're doing, not what Alabama's used to. But his winning percentage means something. Doesn't mean that you just beat the teams at Division II. It means he's beaten the teams that he's coached against up through Division I as well. But yeah,
well,
SMU, what would happen to SMU against Arkansas this year? I don't know what would happen.
Well, I don't either. But the thing about NIL, when you look at the Alabama's and Texas's and whoever that has this large NIL fund that everybody talks about, they still have 3 deep in NIL players, and we still have 1, and maybe 2 that we can pay NIL money to go to a 2 deep chart. But so this agreement or whatever the NCAA is trying to come up with, to make it a level playing field. I don't know what that is, but I agree with what Mike said earlier with then if that happens, then they'll just figure out how to keep cheating even more. So I don't know, but still, we still have to figure out a way to get at least 2 deep in players to have that depth and these players that have these stars behind their names instead of developing these players, and that's gonna change. But most of all, we didn't have the same heart on Saturday that we had against Tennessee. Things didn't go our way the same. So I think Tennessee and I think Ole Miss may be better than Tennessee, but maybe not. But 30 points is not at home. Shouldn't happen.
I think they're a more complete game, RD. I think Ole Miss is a more complete team that can throw the ball a lot better than Tennessee can. I did see, Matt, from Green, and again, I saw it more on the television replay than I could tell from, being up in the radio booth. But he just looked almost like he was resigned to what was happening to him on the field. And almost like the countenance on his face, it's like he viewed himself maybe as like the victim of bad blocking instead of thinking, I don't know, maybe there's something I can do about this. Or maybe I'm just overthinking this a little bit too much, and this is a matter of Ole Miss was that much better, and it doesn't matter who would have been a quarterback, and maybe that was in his mind as well.
I thought Green was on his way to having, 250-plus passing yards, 90 rushing yards, going to account for 3 total touchdowns. So I think the injury might have helped, and sometimes as a player, when you get hurt, yeah, it does kind of show on your face a little bit. I think maybe that's what you were seeing. I don't know, because I thought that he was doing his thing. He was playing well, making plays. And then he gets hurt, and then Singleton comes in and kind of continues it. That's what I mean. He was kind of doing his thing too. You give up 63 points on as a defense, you're not beating anybody in this conference.
Right. It's like I think was this offense going to be able to put up 66? It couldn't block enough to be able to do that. It's like I look at the LSU game and think, the defense did just enough to give the offense a chance to get into the mid to high 30s, and maybe you could have pulled off the upset. I don't know if there was a chance on either side of the ball this time around against Ole Miss. If you can't block the rushers, what are you going to be able to pull off? If you can't cover wide receivers, where are we going to be pulling things off here? These are fairly simple things. And I also didn't think I saw. Remember the word exotic from last week, Matt. I don't know if I saw anything exotic from the Ole Miss offense or from their defense. It was, and Sam did say something. Mike had brought this up in the first hour, Matt, about, and I can't play it. I don't have my ability to play the sound bites right now, but Sam had said something about maybe we're showing our hand. Maybe there's either something in the alignment defensively that they have a sense of exactly where to go and what to do, because it's felt like that these last 2 home games, and even at times against Mississippi State. I mean, they ground up large chunks of yardage. You had your 5 turnovers. You couldn't create any of them against Ole Miss. So that goes right to coaching. That goes to who's making the plan. And as good as T. Will was scheming up against Tennessee, and I think that there were reasons why the scheme was the way it was against LSU, it didn't really seem like anything that they tried this time around helped. And I don't know what you can do to try to change things against Texas, which has just about as high-powered of an offense.
Yeah, emotionally, it'll be a big time game. You got to go back to the Tennessee theory. You got to keep it as close as you can for as long as you can. Because I think Quinn Ewers is a better quarterback than Jackson Dart. You let Texas get 28 points on you in a quarter like Ole Miss did. It's just, man, that's there's just nothing much you can do about it.
877-377-6963 if you've got anything that you want to touch on with us here as we get into our last segment. There'll just be a moment or so that we can take your call. Get over to Twin Peaks and Rogers tomorrow on Election Day. They have free orders of chips and queso. Just bring your I voted sticker, and they're going to hand you your Free chips and queso in store when you spend $25 or more. Of course, you got Monday Night Football tonight. You got the start of the college basketball season, and they will be showing the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight on November 15th. That's Twin Peaks in Rogers Sports Headquarters, featuring 29-degree draft beer made from scratch, fan favorites, and sports blasting from every angle. The ultimate game day experience at Twin Peaks in Rogers, or online to go at twinpeaksrestaurant.com. More TVs, bigger screens, and of course scenic views. Always more to watch at Twin Peaks. Back in a quick moment. We'll wrap up halftime.
McLovin? What kind of a stupid name is that, Fogel? What, are you trying to be an Irish R&B singer?
This is halftime. The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
The people have voted, and Evans Body Shop has been recognized. Voted best in the River Valley this year and 5 years running best of the best independent body shop. We are so grateful for the support of our community. EBS has hundreds of 5-star reviews and countless satisfied customers. We invite you to experience a customer service level that sets our shop apart from the others. Call or come by today to see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
At Arvest Bank, we believe in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to working with and supporting those who serve our communities. From the ones who are making a difference in big and small ways every day, to those who are helping create better tomorrows. We appreciate everything you do, and we're proud to work alongside you. Because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Hey, is your roof leaking? Do you have hail or wind damage? Is it just looking old and worn out? If so, you need to call Hoghead Roofing, a family-owned and operated roofing company where the #1 customer is you. They will give you their honest opinion on whether your roof needs replaced or repaired. They have folks that have worked on the insurance side so they can assist with all claims. Licensed, insured, and ready to serve you. Call Hoghead Roofing today at 479-522-0840. God bless.
Looking for a healthcare provider that truly listens to you? At Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, their team of nurse practitioners offer personalized healthcare with their in-house labs. Get fast results. Elite Wellness goes beyond just treating symptoms. Their holistic approach addresses the root causes of your well-being. Whether it's preventative care, illness, or exploring natural treatments, your health journey begins with Elite Wellness and Aesthetics. Call 479-242-9355 for your appointment or visit FortSmithElite.com. Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, getting to know you inside and out.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, if we can
can't solve any problem. We lose so many tears. Saw you go in when the leading man. Always the same thing. Can't you see we've got going on? Time to go.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Okay, wrapping things up here on halftime. Nobody called in. We got one caller on hold here for the final segment, so if we get to him pretty quickly, we'll let him fill up this a little bit of a 4-minute segment here. No press conference today from Coach Pittman. No game later in the week. Man, it's just going into a bye with a 32-point home loss. That's just tough. Very tough. No coaches show on Wednesday. Just the teleconference Wednesday morning from Sam Pittman. So this is a week that you need to get. Hopefully, whatever's up with Taylon's leg heals. Got to get Jaquindon Jackson back, Matt. I think you need to have a healthier backfield. Hopefully, whatever get Russell off the field, they'll be good to go. So pretty important bye week because these next 3 games, they're pretty much going to they decide how we feel about the end of the season.
You know, you can play spoiler. Texas comes in here, and I know we got another 9 days, working days to talk about it or whatever, but you can play spoiler. You find a way to beat them. That'd be pretty cool.
Ben, thanks for calling halftime. What's going on?
Hey, guys, I wanted to end the show on a really positive note. I know it's frustrating where we are right now in the program, but Matt, could I ask you to go back in time? I was in the hospital recovering from surgery. I think it was 21 years ago when you played. You were the quarterback, and we played Ole Miss. Help my recollection now. 20, maybe 6 overtimes in that game.
That's right. I remember bringing this up on Friday, right, Matt? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if Marty McFly is coming through the pike.
What was the final score of that game?
58-56, I think. Would have been my freshman year. Jermaine Petty with just one of the best tackles in Arkansas history.
Was it 6 overtimes or 7?
Yeah, John Elway.
That's 7.
Didn't you have another overtime game that year that went multiple?
We had freshman year, yeah. Then sophomore year we had a 6 overtime. Then junior year we had another 7.
Yeah. Those I know are great memories for you and great memories for us Hog fans.
It's always nice to win.
Absolutely. Well, you're embedded in the lore and history, and I'm proud of you and what you did, and I think you turned out to be a great young man too. So God bless you guys, and we'll get after them after this bye week.
Okay, Ben. Thanks for the phone call and definitely for helping end this thing on a high note. I
Call
appreciate
in
it
whenever you want, Ben.
Yeah, I don't know how I was going to end the show on a high note. I hit the hang up button before I could get his phone number. We could have we could do him on a segment every day, Monday through Friday at about 1:53. We'll feel really good going into the last commercial break, right?
Kansas City tonight. Mahomes not really kind of leading the charge. You think kind of Mahomes? First L.
Woo! First L. Absolutely. Baker Mayfield tonight, man. Put it in the books. There you go. That's exactly right. And, the Coach Cal show tonight on this very station that you're listening to as well. So we're back with you tomorrow for another award-winning edition of Halftime. If you missed our talks with Mike Irwin, Connor O'Gara, or our 3 Up, 3 Down segment with Dr. Charlie Liggett, It'll be in the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. And Ruskin and Zach coming up in just a couple of minutes. For Matt Jones, Christian Johnston, Colton Little, I'm Phil Elson. Appreciate your ears today. Now get up, get out, and get better.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides
Good work.
every type of dental care and procedure for